Hi, guys, and welcome to the first post match show of the season, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Now, before we went live, I was sitting here for the last few minutes, just sitting here quietly to myself, thinking, how am I going to go about this? How am I going to go about this tonight, talking about this game? Am I going to go down the route of some other people and saying the season's over already? We're playing catch up. It's finished. It's gone. We've dropped points on the opening day of the season where Spurs won, Arsenal won, Chelsea have won, and more likely City will win tomorrow. Or do I go around the other route of it and think and try and look at it a bit differently and go, you know, we should have lost that game. In fact, we should have lost quite handsomely in that game, but we came back and got the point, so we're still in there. Or do we mix it up a little bit and go with a bit of both? Do we need to speak about Jurgen Klopp and Jurgen Klopp's tactics in this game, where it never changed? Substitutions, players. Darwin Núñez, baller, fantastic. I think he's already proven that the man's going to be a tremendous footballer for this club. Harvey Elliott probably should start more often. Mo Salah looks like a different player when they're on the pitch. How do I go about this? I don't want to be a negative Nancy. 2022, I don't know if I can actually say that, but there you go, I've said it. And just go on here, open up my channel and just go on a massive negative rant. This is shit, this is crap, this is terrible, we're not going to win anything, the season's over. Or do I look at it too positively? Do I go too positive and go, look, we should have lost that game. We got hammered. Mitrovic made Van Dijk look like Harry Maguire. Henderson's dead food, dead player. Do I go down that route? Thiago injured, makes me look stupid because I said he'd probably be more fit this season. Makes me look stupid straight away. Do I go down that route and just go negative and get everyone coming over and go, I'll go over to Jamie Phillips Football Chats right now. He's going in on Liverpool and everybody and the owners and the manager and the players. He's right with us. He's thinking like we want to think. Do I go down that route, or do I just try and look at this as a grown man, a grown arse man that has a YouTube channel, your free speech, I'm allowed to say what I want to say? Do I just go around this in a proper way? So I was sitting here on my chair thinking about it for a few minutes on my own, just sitting there on my own for a few minutes thinking about it and going, you know what, I am going to talk about this in a positive, not in a positive way, because there ain't no positives. I'm going to talk about this in the most professional way I can. I'm going to give my side to this game. I'm not going to sit here right now and go, this is dead, this is dead, this is dead, without any content. I'm going to talk about Jurgen Klopp tonight, guys. I'm going to give my opinions on the boss today. Look, no one's perfect in this world. They make mistakes. I said some things in pre-season I weren't happy with that have come to light in this game today. But I'm going to give context about it. I'm not going to say I'm right about it. Jordan Henderson. Everyone knows I love Jordan Henderson. He's my favourite player. I back our captain all the time. Today he was awful. There was a difference when Harvey Elliott played. We're going to have to look at that. We're going to talk about that. But we're going to talk about it in a way that ain't negative. I'm not going to talk about it and make Jordan Henderson the scapegoat. I'm not going to talk about it and make Jordan Henderson look like the deadest player since football began, because that's ridiculous and that is not how you analyse football. You analyse it in a proper way. And that's what I'm going to try and do today, guys. I'm going to try and analyse this in a proper way. And that's the way it needs to be done, guys. Look, it's the first game of the season. Premier League football's back. I'm excited. I'm stoked. You guys are excited. You guys are stoked. You're looking forward to it. And, yeah. And, look, obviously, I have to apologise for today as well. Look, I'm not quite that well, you know, and things like that. I'm not feeling very good. My throat's really bad. I've had bad headaches, migraines and stuff like that all day. I've slept for like 4 hours this afternoon. Literally, when the Liverpool game finished, I literally fell asleep for around 4 hours. I was out of it. So I've just seen the results in the other games. I've just seen that Chelsea-Everton game. I've just seen the end of the results of games, guys. And I apologise. I could not log into my BT Sports. My BT Sport is on my PlayStation, which is linked to my other computer's monitor, which is next to my monitor I'm using right now. So, I watched the game there to there. So I'm like that. So, but I was locked out of that for a couple of hours. I got the password all wrong. The wife told me the real password and I ballsed that up. That was my fault. Then we had a little mini power cut. It's just been mad. It's been a mad day. So I do apologise about it all, guys, missing the first game of the season. But, I don't know how much I could have spoke back then. Anyway, my throat was really bad. But let's talk about this game, guys. Let's talk about this game. So it ended up 2-2. Fulham 2, Liverpool 2. Fulham started like a house on fire. Big up the Fulham. Showed no respect to Liverpool. Came out the blocks. Full steam ahead. Liverpool stood off Fulham. I've never seen us stand off a team more in my life than we did against Fulham Football Club today. I've never seen it. We just completely stood off Fulham. There was no intensity, no sharpness. There was nothing. Absolutely nothing for that first half. And they deserved everything they got. Mitrovic bullied the shit out of Trent for the far post for his goal. Absolutely bullied him. I don't know if there's a lot that Trent could have actually done about it. Maybe he could have moved a little bit quicker before the cross came in, so he got himself in a bit more room to header it away before Mitrovic came into him. But when you got a big, strong striker like Mitrovic like that, it comes in against a right back on the far post, it's extremely hard to defend against. The team performance in its whole entirety in that first half was terrible. The performance was awful. It goes for everyone. And by the way, look, I'm not going to just sit here and slag off the midfield. We're going to talk about the midfield later because it's very, very obvious that we need transfer. We need to go in the transfer market. We're going to have to talk about that. But the midfield was dead. We have got a Fabinho problem. Now, I've said this for a while now. I've actually been getting laughed at about it. But we got a problem with Fabinho. We really have. He's not mobile enough. He is not mobile enough. He gets run past consistently. Absolutely consistently. That Fulham midfielder were running past him today. I saw Mitrovic run past him. Mitrovic ain't the quickest player in the world. We got a Fabinho problem that we need to talk about. We actually looked better when Henderson went in the number 6, which is mad. I never thought I'd say that. So we're going to have to talk about Fabinho later as well. But yeah, there were so many issues today. Everyone was off. As I said, it weren't just the midfield. The back line was terrible. Robbo was peeing me off to the highest end. I have never been more irritated by Robbo's performance than I have today. Oh, his performance irritated me today. He's so bad. Trent the same, really bad. Van Dijk, the worst performance I've ever seen him play for Liverpool, in my opinion. I thought he was shocking. Absolutely shocking. Matip was okay, but he still had issues. I thought the backline was absolutely terrible today. He got absolutely beaten up and bullied by Mitrovic on his own. On his own. He played up front on his own and he beat them all up. Every single one of them. Now, look, the midfield, Fabinho, as I said, we got a problem there. He's not mobile enough. He gets outrun a heck of a lot. In fact, Thiago is quicker than Fabinho. And Thiago's not quick, but he's quicker than Fabinho. Thiago's obviously came off with a hamstring issue. They're not quite sure of the extent. I've just had a look on the Liverpool website, and they're not sure on the extent of it, but they think, fingers crossed, they caught it early enough that he's not going to be out for that long. They're hoping he's just tweaked it. He's not actually pulled the hamstring. They're hoping he's just tweaked it at the moment. If it is just a tweak, a week off or something like that, he might be okay. We're going to have to look at it though, because, when it comes to injuries in this football club, they say that they'll be back soon and you don't see them again for 7 months. So I don't take anything for granted there. Hendo, look, Henderson was look. I love Henderson. I know a lot of you guys love Henderson. I know Savage loves Henderson. We all love Hendo, but today's performance was terrible. He was not very good today. He was not very good today. He couldn't establish himself in the game. Although I will say though, he almost shut everybody up with his 25-yard effort that hit the crossbar. I will say that for Hendo. I'll give Hendo credit for one thing. Hendo looked better in the number 6 position than he did the number 8 position. He looked far better when he went in for Fabinho than he did in that number 8 position. I think he looks more comfortable. I've said it for a while now. I think Hendo looks far more comfortable playing the number 6 than he looks playing the number 8. He looked better in that position. He looked more mobile as well than Flacco at times. Far more mobile. Far more mobile. Big up to LFC Aaron for the super chat. Aaron, I've starred it, mate. So I'll get to it in a minute, my friend. Okay, I'll get to it in a minute, my friend. I will read it out. Yeah, Hendo in the 6. He looks more mobile on Fabinho, and that tells you that's worrying, guys. That is worrying. Thiago injuries worrying again, especially when you've got so many injuries in midfield already. Bobby Firmino. I love Bobby Firmino. We all love Bobby Firmino. I am sure there's not a single person in the live chat right now that doesn't love Bobby Firmino. But I don't know if you can start Bobby Firmino in some games now. I'm not saying all games. You can probably start him in some games. But when the intensity was like that against Fulham today, and we never got a foothold in the game, Bobby's left wanting, ain't he? And that's not, look, I'm not going to slag Bobby off because he's gave so much for this football club. I think what we have got to make sure we do, guys, what we've got to make sure we do is that we don't slag everyone off that have brought us success in this football club. And I think that's a very important thing to think about. So Henderson, yes, he weren't very good today in that number 8 position. He wasn't very good, but he weren't the only one. But I'm not going to go and slag Hendo off because he is part of the success of this football club under the Jurgen Klopp era. So I'm not going to go and say, right, dead food, go next, get someone else through the door. That's just not the way I'm going to be. I'm going to be respectful about it. But you're allowed to criticise players. We can't, no player is not up for criticism. And unfortunately, Hendo weren't great today. But he was a lot better when he went in the number 6 position for me. And he's more mobile than Flacco. I don't know what we're going to do about Fabinho. He just looks a step off. He really looks a step off when he's against midfielders that are more mobile and quicker. When they're more mobile and they've got a midfielder that get around that midfield with pace and aggressiveness, Fabinho looks a little lost for me. He really does. I remember Savage saying it before. Big up Savage if you're in the chat, my friend. He said it before. He said it sometime last season. He said he remembers Alex Ferguson at Man United sometimes never played like a Paul Scholes or Roy Keane in a certain game because he knew he needed a certain different type of player in his midfield for that game to combat what we were playing. And he's right. And sometimes we have to be like that with Fabinho, I think. I don't think Fabinho is the guaranteed defensive midfield starter anymore. I really don't. I think Hendo is more mobile and suited at the moment to that number 6 position. Which he looked more comfortable there, didn't he? I mean, his shot came off, that shot towards the end of the game. That came off because he was playing in a deeper position in the 6. So he had a bit more room in the midfield. Obviously, the game opened up a little bit more as well. So there's a bit more space. But it was a great shot by Hendo to hit the bar. Now, if that went in, Jesus Christ. But that is what Hendo is capable of, that sort of thing. He always has been. He has that ability. He is capable, but he needs to play the 6 for me. He can't. I don't know if he can start as the number 8 no more. I even said this last season. I'm not being reactionary. I said this last season as well. Because if everyone remembers that in my pre-season talk, I said I'd go with Elliott as the starting midfielder. I've been saying that for a while. I think Elliott. But I did say Hendo knows that if he doesn't perform, Elliott is performing and he's going to take his spot. Now, Obviously, Fulham went in with 1-0 lead thanks to Mitrovic for a lovely goal. Great aggressive attacking play by Mitrovic. You've got to give him credit for his goal, yeah? Now, we came out in the second half, still crap. Like, they went in at half time like they didn't learn their lessons. Do you know what I mean? They went in like they didn't learn their lessons. They come back out and did exactly the same thing. And they came in and did exactly the same thing in the second half as they did in the first half. Now, I could see the problem straight away. Bobby Firmino was coming too deep. Because Bobby Firmino was coming deep, Salah and Diaz were coming inwards, yeah? They were coming inwards. So we had no width. So the width was down to Robbo and Trent, and they weren't performing, right? Because we had no width, we're playing everything through the middle. You know, Fulham playing a 4-1-4-1. So they could just put 5 there against the whole midfield in the middle and just leave the wide areas open. But because Salah and because Bobby was coming so deep, Salah and Diaz were coming inwards. And it didn't help anything. We're playing to Fulham's hands all the time. Now, that changed. That totally changed in the second half when Darwin Núñez came on. This boy is special. This boy is special. And he's better. He's best. He's different to everything we got, in my opinion. He occupies the space. He stays high. He stays in the middle of the pitch constantly, you know. And because of that, the freedom Mo Salah had on that right-hand side was completely different to what happened when Bobby Firmino was on the pitch. Now, also, Harvey Elliott and James Milner come onto our midfield. Now, everyone slags Milner off. Why we gave Milner a 1-year contract? Why we gave Milner a 1-year deal? I think you've seen why. Milner came on today and was absolutely different. He got energy. He's 37 years old, and his energy and fitness levels were better than anyone in our midfield. They were better than Fabinho's. This is what I'm saying. James Milner is more mobile than Fabinho. We have a Fabinho problem. I'm not going to lie about it, guys. Yes, for me, but Fabinho is a great player. There's no doubt about it. But James Milner is more mobile and gets around the pitch better. Jordan Henderson is more mobile and gets around the pitch better. Milner's 37 and he outperformed everyone in our midfield when he came on. That's an issue. That is a problem. It's looking us in the face. Jurgen Klopp must be looking at this thinking, my 37-year-old vice captain came onto the pitch and had more energy and more intensity than my first team midfield. That is a problem. It's an issue. We can't lie about it and sit here and go, that ain't an issue, because this ain't even reactionary either. We were talking about this last season. So this ain't reactionary. People will know on this channel, I said this about Fabinho last season. I've been saying it for a while now. I'm not just saying it today's game. I was saying it all last season as well about Fabinho. He's not mobile enough. He's just nowhere near mobile enough. James Milner came on, made enough massive difference. So did the young prince, Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott came on. I thought Harvey Elliott was fantastic. His link-up play and partnership with Mo Salah on that right-hand side is very good. Very, very good. They have a very nice understanding. I like Harvey Elliott in that midfield 8 position, in that right-hand side of the midfield 3. I think it suits into the ground. He gets in nice positions. He got himself in lovely positions in the midfield where, Reed, who has, made sure Hendo never got hold of the ball in that position. When Elliott came into that position, Elliott was picking up spaces that Reed didn't know he was in. He couldn't find him. He was picking up nice little pockets on the pitch and finding Mo. And because Darwin Núñez was on the game now, on the pitch, he occupies the 2 centre-backs. And because he does that, and because he stays high, he doesn't drop deep. And because he stays high, Fulham can't bring themselves out enough. And Mo gets enough space on the right-hand side to do what Mo wants to do. And Mo Salah and Darwin Núñez, I will say this going forward for the rest of the season, guys. Mo Salah and Darwin Núñez look like they have very good chemistry. They've got a nice little partnership going. Really nice little partnership already. Saw that in the Community Shield and I saw that today as well. Darwin Núñez has to start every game for Liverpool Football Club. It's as simple as that. He's a difference maker. He scored one and he assisted one today. And he could have had the man could have had 2 or 3 goals when he came on. Let's be fair. You know, there was an opportunity when he came on as well, where the ball ricocheted down to him, and he opened up his first touch weren't good enough, so he couldn't get the shot off. So he tried to pass it, and then he had we had a lovely little chance with Diaz as well when a free kick. I think it was a Robbo free kick came in, and if I remember rightly, Núñez nodded it down beautifully to Diaz, and Diaz put it wide. Diaz also had a goal disallowed for offside today. With Robbo was in an offside position. But it was a lovely, tidy finish by Diaz, but unfortunately he was offside. The penalty situation was a bit irritating. I thought it was a penalty. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was a penalty. But I will say one thing. If that was a penalty, if that was a penalty on Mitrovic, right? And in my opinion, it was. I think Virgil, I don't know what Virgil was doing, but it was a penalty. Why their first goal shouldn't have counted then? Because Henderson was fouled. So what was the difference in that? I can't remember the Fulham player now, treading on Henderson's foot, literally treading on Henderson's foot, where he's our midfielder that couldn't get back into position. That weren't given as a free kick, but that had more contact for me than the penalty did. But I also thought it was a penalty. So I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. So yeah, it's there's so much to talk about, guys. There's so much to talk about. I'm going to get to the chat now because I haven't got to the chat. I just wanted to have my little say, and I'm talking in a way. I'm not going to slag anyone off. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and slag anyone off. I'm trying to be respectful. Look, we drew a game today. We didn't lose the game, but we should have lost. Let's face it. But yeah, I'm just being respectful. I'm just trying to be respectful and look at the game as a whole and analyse the game as a whole. You know, at the end of the day, we got a 2-2 draw. We should have lost. Let's be fair. We should be sitting here now on 0 points. We should have lost that game. But thankfully, thank for players like Milner, Salah, Harvey Elliott, Darwin Núñez, we got back into that game. We got back into that game and we got a draw. I mean, we could have nicked it at the end. Henderson's lovely shot. It was a beautiful effort by Hendo. If that went in, Jesus Christ, you know, the rafters would have come down in my house. But look, I'm going to get to the chat. I'm going to get your guys' opinion now on it. I'm going to read the chat, see what everyone's saying here. And then we're going to move on from there and talk a bit more about this game. And I might even open up the phone lines and get people to come in. So if Savage is around, Edward, people that want to come in and have their say, you can come in and have your say as well. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and try and be too negative. There's not a lot of positives apart from we didn't lose. There's some positives in performances like a Darwin Núñez. I thought a Mo Salah and a Harvey Elliott. I can't believe I'm still saying this in 2022. James Milner. But there is some negatives and there is some concerns as well. There is some concerns. Fabinho is a little bit of concern. Not Fabinho, the player. Now, I don't know what everyone's thinking in live chat. Everyone in live chat is probably going, what are you on about, Jamie? Fabinho's world class. Fabinho, you can't have a go at Fabinho. Fabinho, the player, is great. I am worried about Fabinho's mobility in the midfield. Yeah, that's what I'm on about. Not him as a player. I'm not saying he's done, he's finished. I think Fabinho needs help with more younger legs around him that are more energy, more pace around him, and Fabinho won't be caught out. Look, sometimes Fabinho is the last line in our defence in the midfield. And because he's not very mobile, there's not a lot he can do about it. Yeah? But you need pace around him. You need legs around him. And then he won't be caught out so much. And then he can concentrate on doing his defensive duties that he does well. Mobility is an issue, though. We can't sit here and lie about it. Right, let's get to the chat. Big up, Trudon. How you doing, mate? 4 midfielders are injured now. Let's hope Jurgen sticks to his word and signs one. Klopp already said we have enough midfielders. Playing catch-up is rather extreme in this first game of the season. Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about it. Trinon says he disagrees. Yeah, I mean, yeah. True, but was embarrassing to see Mitrovic bully Van Dijk and Matip with that intensity until Elliot and Milner and Darwin. Yeah, I thought Millie was excellent, was supposed dead player. Yeah. I've only just calmed down after the game. We're second best everything today. Sorry, guys, I'm going to quickly get to these chats because I usually read them full blast, but I'm just going to get to them and, carry on. Millie and Nunes changed the game for me. He certainly did, Stubbsy. Penalty is a bad decision. Slight knee touch by Van Dijk to a player looking for contact. Can't believe that stood. And deliberate handball in the box against Spurs didn't. Total BS, inconsistent refs. Gray Bobby's better off the bench as a game changer / manager. To be fair, I thought it was a pen. Speaking facts there, Stubbs, you're event A and house. Big up Captain Sal. Big up Wolfie. Big up Gary. Everyone, evening everyone in chat. I feel a lot of anger from the LFC fan base, but I have to agree, Hugo. His first game, yes, we weren't good, but we can only get better. Big up Ricky. Big up Revente. Big up Gary. Even showing me the voice of reason, mate. Big up yourself. Possibly the worst game I've watched this year. Yeah. It's our first loss in 2022 as well, by the way, guys. Darwin train was on from the start. Yeah, Darwin's, yeah. It was a point. That's the high. That's it. Highlight was Nunes. I agree. Klopp needs to stop playing favourites. It's 2022. Bobby and Hendo should not be starting. We need another attacking midfielder. Klopp deserves a big L today. Klopp needs to stop playing favourites. Fulham deserve a point. End of. Yeah, exactly. Fulham deserve to win. Let's face it. This is Klopp's fault. We need to buy midfielders this summer. Big up Kai. Today was a bad result all round. Trent was poor today. Van Dijk was bad. Hendo and Firmino not good enough. That's not just panic, just first game. Yeah, it's important not to panic, guys. This is what I'm trying to say. But we can look. I'm analysing a match I just watched. Yeah, that's why I've come into this trying to be a bit more reasonable. I'm not going to go here and go right. Henderson's dead, out. You know, why are we still playing this and that? Why is Bobby still playing 22? Yeah, this is disgusting. FSG are wrong. It's all on FSG. They need to get players into this world. We are not ready for this season. This season's over. No title challenge. Top four. I was sitting here before, as I said, I was sitting here on my own quietly for 2 or 3 minutes before this went live. And I was thinking to myself, how am I going to go about this? Because I could easily go down that route. I could easily go down that route, but I'm not. It's the first game of the season. Yes, we're behind at the moment because other teams won. But I will say there's a big but here. We should have lost today. The fact we didn't lose still shows the fight in this Liverpool team. Still does show the fight. We've got to admit that because we should have lost. We all know that. So that still shows the fight in this team. And there is positives, as I said. Darwin Nunes is one. Salah's one. You know, Harvey Elliott's one. Milner, I don't care what anyone says, Milner at 37 years old showed more intensity and mobility in the game than a lot of the players on that pitch. So there is positives, there is negatives, there is concerning areas, and we're analysing the game of football. Now, you might not think I'm correct, which I'm absolutely fine with, guys. I'm not here to say I'm correct all the time. I might not be correct, but I am just analysing a game of football, but I'm trying not to go too far. I'm not trying to go too negative down the route of like, this is all over. You know, if City lose to West Ham tomorrow, it's not the end of the world, is it? It's not the end of the world. The midfield will cost us a title. Danny from Prudent, look at it like Sunday pre-season, it's first game of the season we move. I don't think Bobby should be a regular starter for us anymore. I don't think he brings enough. Jamie, my worst fears are already being realised. I see the midfield's already falling apart. People need to make up their mind, honestly. 1 second, we have the best right back, left back, centre back, right mid. We can't beat Fulham with players who put out fan base flip flop sometimes. I on the chat, Chins. I agree with Helia. Big up Jamie, big up my friend. Anyone remember 1 week ago when we beat Man City in Charity Shield? Yeah, that's why this performance is weird, man. But I also said, when I was doing that Community Shield, I did say to everybody, Manchester City were undercooked themselves. They only had 2 pre-season games. So they were undercooked themselves. But this is what I'm saying. We have to analyse games. Every game's going to be different, guys. Next week we could beat. I think we got. Who's it? We got next week. Is it Palace? We could win that game 5-0. Because we're at home. Yeah, and then we're all like sitting here like, all right, 4 points in 2 games, not the end of the world, right? We could be thinking that. But then I'd analyse that game as well. If we won next week 5-0, but there's some negatives in that game, I'm still going to talk about it. And is there positives? I'm going to talk about it because we're analysing a game of football. Each game is different. Each game is different. Do you know what I mean? But there was some issues. We can't hide away from it. There is some issues. We're up against Eburn or Mito today. What a start today that was. Big up, Pat-Man. The subs and a couple of players were good today. The rest are absolutely trash. No point attaching blame to one player. They're all shit. Yeah, exactly. I hope everyone isn't having a go at Hendo. I hope everyone isn't going on social media and just slagging Henderson off because there was 11 players on that pitch today and Hendo weren't the reason we didn't win that game. So I'm really hoping no one is signalling out in Hendo. Yes, he wasn't very good today, but he weren't the only one. You know what I mean? He wasn't the only one. For me, Fabinho was our worst player today in midfield. Fabinho. I thought he was trash. And we have got a Fabinho problem. And I'm going to talk about it. Yeah, I'm doing all right, mate. I'm doing all right, Jack. Thanks for asking, my man. Endo has to be a 6 from now or no more 8. Raul Thiago needs to be a luxury player. Bobby has not the start anymore. Nunes has the start. I agree. Big up Jamie, stay well broke. Big up to you, Wolfie. You're better soon, Jamie. Game could have either. No. Big up to everyone in the chat. Can't stand the negativity when it's found in yourself. Show some character. Don't jump on the show. Life gets in the way sometimes. Big up to you guys. Big up to everyone in the chat. Jamie, that's how Palace should have started last night. Yeah, exactly. I think we underestimated Fulham, to be honest. I think the players did, and I agree. That showed difference between fitness levels today. City below par last weekend. Fulham looked sharp early in the season. Makes a huge difference. It does. Exactly. Fulham deserved so much respect. Almost shocked our players in submission. Play like that. They easy stay in the league this year. Worst thing of the day was the Thiago injury. Diaz was great. Nunes was good. We have big problems, boys. Fabinho is no more old Fabinho. Facts, Jamie. Facts. We have both Fab and Thiago problem, Jay. We need 2 midfielders, not just one. Any half decent blind ref from any other country in the world would not have given those 2 goals to Fulham. When Axon and Moss retired before this season, I thought things would get better. Says a lot for Milner comes on, changes the game. Exactly. Big up Aaron with the super chat. Jamie, we need to seriously talk about Bobby. He just doesn't bring enough anymore. We look way better than we have an actual striker on the pitch. I agree, Aaron. I totally agree. Thank you for your super chat, Aaron. Big up to you, my friend. Much love. Klopp knows that we need midfielders. Why does he get rattled by the journalists when they ask? He knows the problems. Just want to slate the midfielders we have. Robbo crossings below average at best. Bad injury, Klopp said. No, Klopp said it was a bad injury for Thiago. I bet Klopp has had a lot of questions about midfields this season. The man might have right to get tired after repeating questions. Yeah, that is so true. Why does Klopp say if we have injuries, we'll go to the market? We're going to talk about it in a minute. Hendo should be back up 6, cannot play 8. No problem. Fabinho's decline is slightly worrying, can't lie. Pretty sure that equals injuries refers to season-long injuries for all the likes. Yeah, exactly. That is what Klopp meant by injuries, guys, when he says about buying players. He meant like long-term injuries, like Hellier saying now. I don't love Bobby. I can understand that, Batman. I can understand that. Bobby's time is up. Stop playing that false 9. Actually, it's a liability. Talio, Jamie, Nunes must start every game. Why are you worrying so much about Fabinho? One bad game he has not proved himself yet. No, I'm not just not this game, Danny. Just not this game, my mate. I have been saying this since last season as well. Go back to my videos last season, and you will see I've been saying it. I have been saying it. And this is not me criticising Fabinho as a footballer. It's his mobility, not him as a footballer, guys. So yeah, his mobility is an issue in midfield. We can't sit there and lie that it ain't. He does get run past quite a lot. And but Hendo looked more mobile than Fabinho in the six, in my opinion. And guys, I'm not. Look, if everyone thinks I'm having to go at Fabinho, I'm not. I really ain't. Go back and look at what I said last season. Everyone knows I said the same last season. I said Fabinho, his pace is lacking, his mobility was lacking. There is an issue there. I did say that. I didn't say Fabinho's dead. I didn't say he shouldn't be out the team or anything like that. I actually just said you put younger legs around Fabinho and more people that are more mobile in that midfield around Fabinho, you've got no problem. But his mobility is a problem. He's not slagging people off. It's just being honest. Anderson is still very good at a six. Yeah, exactly. But Jamie, I think Klopp is stubborn to persist with the same players if it doesn't work. At the same time, Fabinho has been brilliant for Liverpool Football Club. So I don't blame Klopp if he does continue persisting with him. You know what I mean? He has been brilliant for Liverpool Football Club. But sometimes there might be matches that you think about, you know, should I not play Fabinho in this game because, you know, their midfield is very energetic, very quick, very fast. That's the one issue with Fabinho is his mobility in midfield sometimes. I won't play him in this game. I'll play Hendo. That doesn't mean that Fabinho is a bad footballer. That just means, you know, you're just looking at. Evening, Chris. He was leggy at times last season. Teams can run through us too easily. They do sometimes. He did have the best goal scoring season. Some Bob is congratulations on winning his charge game for Liverpool. The man has made a steal. Yeah, exactly. Salah, no other player in history of current top English top five scored 5 opening games in a row, let alone 6. Yeah, he's the man, ain't he? Darwin is the right hand for. He needs to start a majority of games now. Yeah. Henderson is too old, please. Midfield is slow and old. Okay, even one. Talio Savage. Said it, you can cut through our midfield like butter. Hi, Gaz, mate. Big up, Jamie. How you doing? Big up, Daz. How you doing? Well. Hi, Jamie. Hope you okay. Got tweeted today. Big up, Ant. Mo Salah's got 8 Premier League goals in the opening day of the season. No player has scored more. That's mad, ain't it? That's absolutely mad. You were poor, but don't get it twisted. You played they played very well, more than deserved the point. Exactly. I mean, yeah, to be fair, Fulham should have won. Fulham should have won, shouldn't they? Nunes caused chaos in the Fulham backline. Jamie, my friend, any normal person can see Hendo has declined. I'm more frustrated from Fabinho, who's declined since last year, and Bobby, who's also unrecognisable right now. Big up Akash. Milner did do well. Milner was great. Big up Darling FC fan, but hope you're well. Big up Ian. Paul, disagree. Jamie Hendo's finish as a guaranteed starter in our midfield. It's a crying shame that Jones wasn't available, as he would have made a difference. Yeah, Curtis Jones would have played well today. Yeah, look, guys, if you disagree with me, as I said, I'm not going to get upset if people disagree with me. You know what I mean? I always say everyone's got different opinions in football. And I'm not upset if you disagree with me. I really ain't, guys. I'm really not. I'm here for it. Football's about. This is what I love about the game of football, guys. We can talk about it properly. What I love about my chat and everyone in my community on this channel is that we can disagree with each other, but we talk nicely to each other. It's all adult conversations. There's no slagging each other off. You know, yeah, Paul disagrees with me, see? But I'm not upset by it. Paul's not upset by it. We can have a nice conversation about things, and it's all cool. This is what I love about my chat. This is what I love about you guys as well. You're all great. Milner is better than Henderson at the 8. That's arguably true. That is arguably true. Aaron, you've got a point. You might actually have a point. Bobby's not starting now. Starting on now on. Jay, hope you and your family okay. Got tweeted today. Simply said City will give them a hiding Go support City. Supported us since 90s. Explain. Jesus Christ. Wow. Hi, how you doing today? Think he's shit on the ball. About 37 million. Is a brilliant athlete. Big up, Pac-Man. Pac-Man, how you doing today, my man? We are slow midfield. We are. Completely agree. I was not able to believe how bad Fabinho was playing. Hit the likes, guys. Yeah, guys, smash the like button, guys. Make sure you're smashing the like button up and you're subscribing as well if you've not subscribed already, guys. I would really appreciate it. There's 83 people watching right now. We're only on 39 likes. So please, man's not well. My voice ain't great, but I'm giving you a video still. So hit that like button. Cheer me up, guys. By cheering me up and make me feel better today, you can smash that fun button right now underneath the video. And that would make me proper happy. Thank you very much. Leighton Clarkson scored in his debut for Aberdeen. Big up, Leighton Clarkson. He and Tyler Morton might be the future midfield for Liverpool. Tyler Morton came off the sub for Blackburn at the end of the game. Big up. Thank you, Helia, for that. For that, Helia. I like that. I like that. Leighton Clarkson scoring his debut. Big up, Helia. Thank you very much. A few about this performance, guys. Looked well short today. Big up, Chris. I've heard a lot of negative comments since the game. Klopp out, Robbo and VVD are finished, etc. Yeah. Now, that is not what you're going to get from me. Guys, you are not going to get this sort of chat from me. You might get it on some other YouTube shows and stuff like that. You are not getting it from me. I am not going to talk like that. I'm just not. There's not one player I want out of our squad that played today, out of our team and gone. There ain't really one. I'm not like that. I'm not going to be that reactionary. Did Klopp make mistakes today? Probably tactically. I think Klopp is also a bit starstruck. That he's a bit, sorry, not starstruck. What's the word I'm looking for? Not quite sure the word I'm looking for. But Klopp was sort of like, he couldn't believe what he was watching, I don't think. I think he couldn't believe what he was watching and how his team was so sloppy and slow and poor in every aspect of the game. I don't think Klopp could quite believe it. So I don't know. Klopp. I think Klopp was looking at it and thinking, I don't know what to do because the boys just don't look up for it. And I'm looking at my bench, and some players I might want to bring on are injured right now. I mean, a Jota might have made a massive difference today as well. You know what I'm saying? A Curtis Jones might have made a difference today. You know, when they're not available, you know, through injury, you know, he's looking at the bench and thinking, like, the players are just not doing it. I mean, I don't know what to do about this. So, yeah, Klopp. Look, I said it in pre-season. I think we played too many kids in pre-season, and I think we're a bit undercooked. That's just me. I felt that all the time. I said it in pre-season. Why are we playing so many youth team players when they're not going to be part of this squad? Makes no sense to me. So maybe you can look at that. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm not going to tell people we're finished. Was Robbo's performance irritating today? Yeah. Robbo's irritating as hell today's performance, but the man's a great left back. He's allowed a bad game. Van Dijk, that was the worst Van Dijk performance I've seen since Van Dijk joined Liverpool Football Club. Even Van Dijk, when he came back from injury at the beginning of last season, didn't have a performance, I think, as bad as he did today. He looked worried today. I've never seen Van Dijk look worried. He looked shocked and worried today. And yeah, it's just a bad game. Yeah, they're allowed it. They're human. They're not robots. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Don't worry, Gary. You're not going to get that from me over here, my friend. You're not going to get that over here. What you're going to get, though, is proper analysis. Bit of proper analysis, looking in depth at things. But that's what we're doing. We're analysing a game of football. I'm not here to slag players off and slag managers off and owners and this is that. We can analyse a game of football. Now, when you analyse a game of football, I might be a bit more critical because what I was watching I might have more of a critical eye than what someone else is watching. Do you know what I mean? It's just I'm not slagging anyone off. I'm not having a go at anyone. I'm just being, I'm just analysing the game of football. And as I said, guys, in the chat, you guys can agree. You can guys disagree with me. I'm not going to get upset about it. Joe, if I simply said today, City will give them a hide and go and support City. Supported us. It's nice. Shite supporter, ain't I? Big up, Ant. Gang Deep, Milner was our best midfielder over. Why leave Hendo and Milner on the pitch when they are chasing the game? To you play one or the other, not both, unless we are winning position and we need to see the game out. The one thing I'll say about that, Gang Deep, we did look better when Hendo and Milner were both on the pitch at the same time. But I also agree with what you're saying as well. Elliot lost ball a couple of times, but he was good, but slowed down. He was good, but slowed down. Diaz was the best player by that Nunes cameo. Salah also did nothing for 70 minutes. Unfortunately, Henderson and Milner lack creativity, goal and invention. Harvey was great. Every time he got the ball, something was happening. I agree. We should have started with Elliot, Fab, and Thiago instead of Hendo. I mean, I was saying that. Jamie, I agree that Hendo is better as a 6, but he isn't better than Fabinho. No, he's not. He's not a better defensive midfielder than Fabinho, but Hendo is, for me, better at the 6 than he is at the 8, if you know what I mean. I think he suits him. The way Hendo wants to play the game, I think suits him better in a deeper position than a position where he's got to get up and down the pitch more, if that makes sense. So he's not better than Fabinho as number 6. Bloody hell, guys, if you think I'm saying that, I'm not. I apologise. Hendo is not better than Fabinho at the 6, but Hendo himself is better at the 6 than he is at the 8. Hendo himself. No, he's not better than... No, don't get me wrong, guys. Don't get me wrong there. Code on command. Ensign is a fucking fraud, man. Our engine room is dusted. Okay, fella. Okay. Fair enough, my man. Elliot had a brilliant box opener that served Salah. Yeah, he's if I'm liking a link up between Salah and Nunes. I do not want to see Hendo in an 8. Only role needs to be a backup 6 to Fab. I think Diaz with Nunes will be class, so do I. Pretty sure that Darwin Nunes' goal will be this round's best goal. Yeah, he almost scored that twice as well, didn't he? That back heel flick. How can you play against City then being shocking? Yeah, he's a little worrying, ain't it? You and the chat aren't having a pop for no reason. You have to be honest with what you see on the pitch. That's all we're doing. Respect, Jamie. Big up, Aaron. Big up, Aaron, my friend, for that super chat and lovely message. Big up yourself, Aaron. You're a great bloke. It was a different phase of play. Henderson foul was too far removed from that goal. That's what they said anyway. No, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying, like, it was a foul and game should have stopped like from the foul. I'm not saying go back it and disallow the goal. It was a foul. I just like the way Steve McManaman on commentary, right? Steve McManaman is a ex-Liverpool player, right? But he fucks me off he really pees me off on commentary. When he went, oh, that's nothing. The foul on Henderson, that's nothing. When he got his foot trod on with studs, that's nothing. But the slightest knee contact for the penalty was everything. It made no sense. Both of them were fouls. I'm not saying them both weren't. It was a penalty, and Henderson was a foul. So that it should have been blown as a foul then. But you can't go back on the goal because it was too far behind, which I agree with. Starting front three should be Diaz, Nunes, and Salah, definitely. Game highlighting why we need a midfielder reinforcements. I hear you about Fabinho's mobility, but if we got 2 8s who can control the tempo of the game instead of being industrious, it would make Fab's job a lot easier. Exactly, Gang and Deep, and that's what I'm saying, my man. That is what I'm saying. You need that around him. Like what we do sometimes, we're too industrial. So sometimes when that happens, you're leaving Fabinho on his own. And when you're leaving Fabinho on his own, he hasn't got the mobility, to get around that pitch on his own. But if you've got more of a midfield that, works harder together, and controls the game, Fabinho's not going to get, ousted on his own like that, You're totally right, Gang. And this, like I'm saying, guys, I'm not slagging Fabinho off as a footballer. It's just that if he's going to play every single week, we might have an issue because of his mobility in games. Now, when we play a team like Tottenham, for say, we ain't really going to have that problem because their central midfielders don't really run past people. So that won't sort of matter. Games against like team midfielders that like to get past, get in attacking areas, run past you, that sort of thing. You have a little bit of problem here and there, especially the way we set up sometimes. Remember last season, but we couldn't beat Brentford. Ended up so bad after all. This guy gave me Brighton and Brentford vibes. Fan base slowly morphing into Arsenal's. Yeah. Jamie Klopp said Thiago injury is bad hammy, not good one, and he doesn't like the situation right now. Why don't you adhere then? Is that what he said? It was a bad one. I mean, you can't really tell about a scan, can you? Let's hope it's not too bad because, I mean, it can't be that bad, I don't think. We have a world-class defence and attack, but below average midfield. Our midfield has been carried all these years. That's why City pip us the titles. Fair enough. Not far wrong, probably. Darwin Núñez, man of the match for me. Yeah, Darwin was great. Firmino's teeth. Was not the best game, but hey, first game of the season. City lost their first year and still won the league. So chill. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll put the link in. Sorry, Savage, my man. I'll put the link in. The link's in the chat, my man. Link's in the chat. Personally, I really enjoyed the performance. Pac-Man. Agrees concern. Is that you, Firmino? We need to talk about your performance today. You go. Let's get Savage in here as well. My man.
How are you, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. My voice is a bit shit, but I'm all right.
Yeah, I spoke to you earlier about that, man. I hope you're feeling a bit better, bro.
I sleep for 4 hours after I spoke to you.
Yeah, I knew.
And nap's usually 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Ain't no, not me. But I took some tablet, not like when I say I took some tablets, prescription tablets, and they just knocked me out. They completely knocked me out. But I needed it, man, because I had this headache. You know the headaches you get at the back of your head.
The horrible, mate.
You can't stand up. The rooms that it was horrible. I was feeling sick. So yeah, I wouldn't have been no good today, even if I had power. My BT was working and everything. It wouldn't be.
Make sure you think you, bro. Make sure you stay hydrated as well, man.
Yeah, man. I've had 7 cups of tea and I've got a 2-litre bottle of Lucasade. I'm refreshing myself.
Jay, don't do this to me, bro. Because I know you hate water, bro. But you need to drink water, bro. I know you hate it, bro. But it's important, bro. I know you do. I know you do. Just get the thingy in it. You know the So I'll just neck water in it when I'm whatever, bro. But you know the little squeezy thing, what you can just squeeze into the water.
Yeah.
I'll just have it next to you. Have it next to your desk, in it, and then just get a bottle of water, squeeze that in. It's no added sugar. I know, bro. I'm trying to help you in it. Just don't.
I need sugar.
Big up the chat, man.
Yeah, big up the chat. Let me just get I think I saw a super chat coming as well. Yeah, I did. There you go. For me, so we got played at our own game today. They shut us down. We lost. Klopp is getting grumpy in his old age. Big up for Mino's teeth. Guys, I'll get a bit more in the chat in a minute, guys. We're just going to talk a bit more now. So, yeah, I mean, thankfully, I haven't looked at social media much today since the game. So, because I was asleep, so I can guarantee right now it's probably a place you don't want to be. Am I right there?
I very rarely go on there anyway. I think I was looking for something else, and then I just looked, and all I ever look to do is see if it's rival fans or Liverpool fans. Because if it's rival fans, that's what they're there for, innit? To banter. It doesn't bother me. But a lot of it was Liverpool fans, and yeah, bro. Like I can deal with results and stuff like that. Football's not perfect, innit? That's how it happens. But the fan base, bro, like the flip flop ain't the word for it, man. Like,
I know.
There's people automatically like. It's like they struggle to keep the context to one game, to what game it is. Unless we win, then all of a sudden it's like whatever, innit? And listen, I'm as disappointed as anyone. You know what I mean? I'm a little bit calmer nowadays when we don't get certain results, especially if like the team we're playing against is playing top level as well. Now, the last thing I said to you on the stream, what we did the other day, about Fulham when I said people keep speaking of Fulham like they're flipping this world-class team just because people are scared to lose to them and get clipped for it. And I said the only way we lose to this Fulham team is if we don't play our own game and we make stupid mistakes.
Like today.
Exactly what I said happened. We didn't lose the game, but obviously it feels like a loss to people. I don't think there's anything wrong with people's views on the game and stuff like that. I think sometimes there's scapegoating and then there's just picking out what actually happened to certain people on the pitch. And I think there's a mix of both. And I think some people get scapegoated even when other people are worse on the pitch, which is weird to me. And, I always expect that if the game doesn't go right and Hendo's on the pitch, they're going to start on Hendo. And this ain't even me being trying to be funny or I'll beat you off and protect my captain and that. No, I'm always gonna back my captain.
Yeah.
But I've always been honest about how he is on the pitch and stuff like that. But from today, from hearing from people, it's like he was the worst one, and he literally wasn't.
No, there's loads, like I was saying. There was quite a few.
And there is parts where, and I'm only saying this because I've watched it twice now. That's the reason why I can speak calm again. There's a lot of going over the top. You know what I mean? And I feel it because it feels like when you're in the emotion of the game, it feels like Mitrovic is bullying everyone and he's getting the win on everyone. And to be fair to him, he kind of was.
Yeah,
but the whole like Mitrovic bullied Van Dijk all game thing is a lie, bro. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. I watched it back. He won loads of aerial duels though.
Yeah.
But none of them were against Van Dijk. I'm not even Van Dijk won 3 in the game.
Yeah,
which is kind of rare for Van Dijk.
He went out more against Matip, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, obviously we'll get into like individual players and stuff, but for me, the overall play, I can't lie, bro. And this ain't me trying to like flip and kiss ass and that, but everything Klopp said in his post-match interview was spot on. Where I think people get mixed up with his attitude. He said the attitude of the players. He doesn't mean like flipping. They've got like an attitude problem in terms of speaking, and that it's the way they attack the game. And you always get that thing where the cameraman always goes to Klopp while the game's going on, and he looks bemused, doesn't it?
Yeah,
he looks so confused to why we were terrible that I know that that's not the reason why we lost the game because he done something wrong. And all I'm trying to get across to people is, I'm fine with we shouldn't have. I don't think we should be drawing against Fulham. They played great though. To be fair to them, they
should have won. That's what I keep saying.
Yeah, because even they hit the post and everything and all that business. So
yeah,
but I don't know, man. It's like I don't know.
It's hard. It's so hard not to be reactionary, ain't it? That's basically.
It's a weird thing, man, because it's not. The thing is, it's not hard for me not to be reactionary. I'm just trying to word. I think I've done quite well. I think I've done quite well today. Yeah, I'm trying to word things a certain way that so people don't automatically think I'm trying to stick up for the team because I'm not. But at the end of the day,
I understand what you're saying, yeah.
I can see stuff from the fact that it is the first game. There's negatives and positives in it. You want the momentum from the first game, especially we beat Man City last week. Even though it was like whatever game, and we still beat them. But Man City were a bit undercooked. We did say that. Me and you said it straight away, but we're going to enjoy the victory anyway.
Enjoy it anyway, yeah. Exactly.
The positive to the fact that we didn't lose the game is kind of massive because we had to come back into the game to do it. And it's a shame that the penalty came out when it did because I actually thought like if that penalty didn't come, we was going to win the game. Yeah. And we wouldn't have deserved it in the end, but it would have been a smash and grab.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that it's come on the first game, so hopefully it just wakes them up now. You know what I mean? And we are a team that can go on a long run.
Yep, I agree.
I think Fulham's game plan was very smart. They pressed in numbers. They didn't press as a one. They've done it in packs of threes and surrounded people. And I knew that because Diaz for me was the best player in the first half, and automatically what they did was they kicked him about 7 times. There was loads of fouls. I think Tete, there was one from Mitrovic, Bobby D. Cordova-Reid as well. They took him out. They kept taking him out to the point where like you could see Klopp screwing on the sideline. Took him out to the point that Tete got a yellow card and Diaz looked like he didn't want to go down there again. And if anyone noticed, that one point Diaz was on the right-hand side and Salah was on the left. And then Diaz was in the middle for like 20 minutes. That interchange thing, which we didn't need to do because if he carried on going down that left side, we would have been fine. And then obviously their goals, man. I'm not happy about the goals because as much as I said I want to keep it within the game, you're free to say stuff if it's things what are ongoing. Now you already mentioned the Fabinho thing, and people are acting like you're overreacting. And we might be overreacting in the fact that it's the first game, but it's not overreacting in the fact that
I said it last season as well.
We
about his
bro,
mobility.
we both said it.
Yeah.
We said it. I remember which games as well. The Brentford game last season, the Man City game when De Bruyne jogged past him and they didn't touch him and then it took a deflection and went in, but we ended up drawing the game.
Yep.
The game, this is the one where no one is the preseason game we had the other day. I remember watching it and he looked undercooked and he was falling over, trying to get back to people. And it's a natural thing where usually Fabinho starts the season like that. Like I don't even think it's like him. He's not rubbish, obviously.
No,
he just starts a bit slow, and it takes him a while to get into it. And I remember last season it took a while, and then I think it was the only games when he got injured for like 2 or 3 games, and then he came back and then he was fine then, and he was back to his best. But the mobility thing's a thing. I wouldn't blame Klopp today for starting him in that position because one, he's the best in that position, and two,
we did really have a lot more choices.
Yeah, and there's no way that that's going to happen to him against Fulham. You know they're going to come after us and that, but you expect a bit more.
Well, that's why, like you're saying, when he came off, we did look a little bit better in midfield.
Yeah. And there's a few takeaways from the game which I want everyone to look at, and I'll say these, and then we can move on, and then you can continue, bro. But I picked up a few bullet points which I'm almost 100% sure of now.
Sorry.
The two things is obviously Hendo in the 6, which we said last season. When Hendo wasn't playing good last season, then he went into the 6. He looked good.
Yep.
But it's not going to be all the time, and it's going to be against certain opposition. And I think the teams, this won't last for Fulham like that because they're excited. They've just come into the Premier League. They've got the fans behind them and stuff. When he gets to the nitty-gritty of the Premier League, they'll start retreating and start defending a little bit more. But I do applaud them for attacking us because it's boring when people just sit back. But there's going to be games where Fabinho might not be needed in that game and we need a bit more legs. Hendo probably should play in that position, even though Fab's the better one. Bobby and Diaz can't play together. Because me and you said that to Bobby going forward, they should play him as a number 9 in it.
Yeah.
Because Nunes is a number. When Nunes comes on, he plays as a number 9. When Bobby's on, it's a false 9, which means in one game we're playing 2 different systems. There's just 2 different tactics, and Diaz needs somebody to pass the ball to, but Bobby keeps coming deep, and it just leaves him. It just leaves him with no one to pass the ball to, and then it looks like Diaz is holding on the ball for too long. But there's no one there, bro. They've all moved. It's very weird. But positives in the second half. I'm positive about Nunes. I'm sure that the link up with him and Salah is going to be great. Elliott and Salah continued from what they did a couple of games last season towards the end. I liked it. And yeah, man, we're just gonna have to, we have to take it on the chin and that, and I'm sure that we'll go on. And the boys know, innit? They know that they've not played good, man. It happens in the season, and we had too many draws last season. I think we finished on 8 draws, which was way too many draws anyway. And this is 1. But the fact is, at the beginning of the season, you take it from there and you move on with it, bro. Hopefully that it doesn't keep happening, bro. Because 3 less draws last season, and we would have won the league. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Which means we would have finished on 5 draws and 2 losses. And that's a bit more because City finished on 5. Yeah, I think City finished on that.
We had 4 more draws than City. That's what really cost.
Yeah, so that's what I would say there, man. But I wouldn't slag anyone off. I'm not, you know what I mean? I mean, we'll talk about the other one after when we get to whatever. But that Trent done something today what I constantly spoke about last season, and people tried to because he's great going attacking and stuff like that. And I keep telling people, I'm not disputing how good the man is, but he's incredible. But there's a certain lapse in concentration that Trent has, where it affects the team, and he's just fine with getting away with it and keep doing the same thing. It happened against Villarreal, with Coquelin, happened with Vinicius, and it happened with Mitrovic. And if anyone's trying to say I'm wrong, the Mitrovic and the Vinicius thing is exactly the same thing. It's just that one was in the air, one was on the floor. And if he just jumped, there's no way he gets that because the reason why Hendo's legs are going is doing all that running, bro.
We said that loads.
Trent was damn near in false 9 today, and I watched them running the other way. And Trent does this jog back thing where let me jog to make it look like I'm doing something, so people don't moan at me for not running. But I'm not really running to get back. And people keep going, "Oh, Klopp's letting him do what he wants." Just watch Klopp on the sideline when Trent does that. I'm telling you,
He screams at him. He screams at him all the time.
yeah.
Trent's always said that he screams at him all the time. But yeah, I mean,
it's rough with the smooth, isn't it, with Trent? That's that's kind of the thing.
You've got to take what he does going forward to do what he does defending. I've always said that. Look, he's not the perfect right back, but what are we going to do? Because you can't take away what Trent does going forward. It's as good as anything in world football in his position. So
I will say maybe when Nunes starts starting more, because the space where Trent went into is where Nunes would occupy.
Yeah,
and he's not needed there, Trent. He's literally not needed there. And if Harvey's on the pitch as well, then maybe sometimes it just needs to be that when we're attacking Trent and Harvey and Salah's already ahead of you, you're not going to make the overlap run. So you might as well just hold back a sec and just hold this line just in case we lose the ball. They go on a break. You've already got a yard on somebody, so whoever's faster than you can't get past. But that jog back thing, bro, I've saw it to the extent of if just watch Trent sometimes, bro. He'll push you in. He'll push you in the back because he's not gonna. He can't bother to catch up with you, and he'll drag your shirt. And he's our player. I love him. I think he's one of the best players in the world. It's not taking anything away from him. Everyone's got faults to their game, but that fault keeps happening, and I can deal with it when it just looks bad. But when it's costing us certain, you know what I mean? Because that was the other one was in the Champions League final. So
yeah. No, I agree. I agree with you, the Trent thing. Really, as a stale team, we started a game with 9 players from 5 years ago, and only 2 are Thiago and Diaz newer. The first team needs refreshment, something Fergie was a master and knew how to keep players on their toes. You go and look at the City team. A lot of them were still from 5 years ago.
And I'd agree more if it wasn't. I'd agree more if it wasn't Fulham. We shouldn't. Everyone who's saying that Klopp's rubbish all of a sudden because he started Bobby, I'm like, if you're telling me that we can't beat Fulham with that team we put, then what are we?
We picked Bobby to play.
Yeah, we must be but we must be terrible football. It can't be true what everyone said about world-class players if we can't beat Fulham with Bobby.
The reason Bobby played was the reason you saw today, because Bobby wouldn't have done what Darwin Núñez did off the pitch. But then people will go, well, maybe we wouldn't have needed Bobby coming off the bench if Darwin started. So I can see it's going to be a split there, but we predicted Bobby started. I looked at a lot of other Liverpool channels that did predictions, all predicted Bobby to start. So
yeah, shockingly, if I know that the haters won't like it, but let's be honest, bro. And me and you spoke about this before. If Curtis played in this game, like. I'm telling you, bro. You know where everyone's talking about him holding onto the ball? Well, you could have used somebody holding onto the ball.
He needed to hold onto the ball, exactly. Yeah.
There was a part in the game where, like, every time we got, to be fair, big up Fulham here. There's a part where every time we got the ball, they just rushed us, bro. I was like, what is going on?
I know we just got abused today. That's what I'm going to say. Our midfield got abused today. Look,
no, we got violated, bro. We got violated for real. Yeah,
that's when I was talking about Fabinho. Look, I'm not. I think some people think I was slagging Fabinho as a player off. I weren't. He's a tremendous footballer, but we can't lie about his mobility. It's simple as that. Thiago is quicker than Fabinho, and Thiago ain't quick. That is an issue. We can't lie about it.
Hear this comparison, Jay, and I'm not trying to troll on it. I'm honestly not trying to troll, but Fernandinho is 9 years older than Fabinho. Fabinho's 28 and Fernandinho's 37.
He's more mobile.
Yeah, you know when Fernandinho got burnt by Vinicius in the Champions League.
Yeah,
the same thing would happen to Fabinho.
Yeah, exactly. This is a worry. We can't pretend it ain't.
It's because he gets caught flat-footed. You have to be on your toes there.
He's never on his toes. That's the problem with Fab. He's a great defensive midfielder, but the way our midfield is as well is that, we chase everything in the midfield. So when you chase everything in the midfield, if you don't win the ball or the second ball, then Fab is left on his own. And if Fab is left on his own, he hasn't got the mobility to cover the ground, and that's an issue. So that's what teams try and do now. They try and draw out the other 2 midfielders in our 3, draw them out for the space, and leave Fabinho on their own because they know Fabinho ain't got the mobility. Yeah. So once you've done that, everyone then chasing. Then you're chasing everyone back, and because you're chasing everyone back, we haven't got the mobility to chase back, and that is an issue.
They caught our momentum out as well, and we got no momentum in that game, bro. Like apart from until Salah's goal went in, there was momentum a little bit, and then just before Virgil gave the penalty away, there was momentum there for sure, because that's when I thought we're going to win this game. Like, Nunes and Elliott seemed to lift everyone, the crowd, everything, bro. Because I could hear the Nunes chants bursting out. He hears that, he gets more confident. And even when he weren't, like, doing anything great, he was causing havoc in the box, bro. Like, they could not handle him.
No, exactly.
Pretty much done what Mitrovic did for them.
Oh, Nunes is different. Nunes has got to be special, man.
No. Let's remember, Jay. He's Andy Carroll. Just remember that.
He is going to be so good. If Nunes keeps getting goals and in positions like he did today after coming on, I have to reevaluate how many goals I'm expecting to get this season. The thing is, though, the man could have easily had a hat-trick today as well. Yeah. He gets himself in so many good positions. And we said this as well. He occupies the centre-backs. Because he occupies the centre-backs, did you see the space Mo started to have? And because Mo had the space, I've got to say, there's something special between Mo and Nunes' link-up play already. There's something there.
Can I add Elliott into that when he's on? Because
Elliott, Jesus Christ, that little cameo.
That 1-2 with him and Salah every time.
Yeah. And what I said this, I think I said at the beginning of the video with Elliott, he picks up positions that Hendo can't pick up in that number 8 position because Hendo's more. It's just when I look at Harvey play, I'm thinking, right, I want to see more of. It's mad. Every time I see Harvey, I'm like, I want to see more of him. I want to see more Harvey. And look, he's going to have bad games because he's a kid. He's 18 years old. So if Harvey has a bad game, it's going to happen. You know, he's still learning his craft. What I don't want people to do is then start slagging Harvey off, you know, because he has a bad game. You know, he's going to have bad games. Everyone's going to have to expect that. Klopp knows it. Klopp will know, right, I'm going to play Harvey today. If he has a bad game, he's 18. I expect it to have a bad game. You know, it's just freaks like Messi and stuff like that when they're 18 and they never had a bad, you know, it's just.
They are freaks though, because it's quite rare in it to be able to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but that link up between Harvey, Salah and Diaz on that right-hand side through the middle for that last 20 minutes was very positive. Yeah. Very, very positive. But bloody hell, Nunes. What I love about Nunes is that he stays up top, don't he? He doesn't drop deep.
I love it.
Because that was the problem. The problem when Bobby plays, like I said at the beginning, when Bobby plays, he drops deep. And because he drops deep, Salah and Diaz come in narrow.
Yeah,
because
100%.
they drop deep and almost make a 2 up front.
Yeah.
And in that way, we're playing into Fulham's hands by going through the middle constantly. As soon as Darwin came on, Darwin doesn't drop deep.
Yeah.
And because he stays up top and stays central, the defenders can't leave him be. Because they can't leave him be, Salah now can go really wide and it opens up a lot of space. And that's how we got our 2 goals.
100%.
That's how we got
because even that, you know, that we saw it in pre-season as well, so it's clearly a thing of his. When the long ball goes into him, he's always looking for that header back across the goal. Now, he got blocked today from a really good block, but he was going straight to Salah's foot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, he moves in the box like a small person, which is great. He's just adding near post every time. Because the goal he scored, he tried it just before. He's just done the same thing.
He almost scored it twice, didn't he?
Which I think is incredible that he didn't even knock his confidence. Like, I'll just do it again.
Shows how much confidence he's had.
Yeah, and I think I will give Bobby this year. Bobby, that false 9 thing what Bobby does, what he wasn't doing it before Liverpool, and he wasn't doing it before Klopp. No. So you've changed him into doing this, and it's become successful, and it's with like the Mane and Salah connection thing going on, and he won us stuff and everything, can it? So of course that's what he's trained himself to do now. He's become accustomed to it, and now we're at a stage where what he gives us in the false 9 is not needed. So when he drops deep, if you look at Thiago, he's almost looking at him like, yo, I don't need you here. You don't need to come back here to give Diaz the ball. I'm already here.
Yeah, exactly.
I think what me and you said was almost right, you know. Just when he plays, just play him as a number 9, as the fox in the box, bro.
Yeah.
Just play him as a number 9, because that's what Jota does as well. Like,
play him as a tapping merchant, basically.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. But
I just don't know.
Feet in the box as well.
I just don't know if Bobby can change his game to that, because
probably can't,
because he's such a willing runner. He's such a willing runner and a willing, hard-working player. I don't think he can feel like he can sacrifice that part of his game not to do anything.
Exactly, and what that does is it means that whichever centre backs we're playing against get an easy ride because they've got no one occupying them. So because Salah's wide and Diaz is wide, there's no one occupying them.
Missed Jota today, really did. I think we missed Jota today because
Jota's shit house, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean Jota would have occupied them defenders a lot more today if he started instead of Bobby. And that would have been a lot more different as well. They say Curtis Jones has missed a day. No matter what people might think, Curtis Jones have held the ball. And I think at times that's what we needed.
Yeah.
We just needed someone to hold the ball.
I agree. Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, there is negatives. I'm not going to say...
Yeah, of course.
I'm not going to say, like, it's silly to say the season's finished. I mean, I've seen it already. I've seen some YouTubers say the season's finished.
It's silly, man.
It's over.
Man City lost their first game last season.
Yeah, exactly. Look, we drew our game to a game we should have lost. Look, we should be on 0 points. Let's face it. We should be on 0 points. It's still... Fulham will never play that well again this season, by the way. I would...
Yeah, they were great, man.
If they can play at that level any other time again this season, I'll be shocked.
It happens every season, doesn't it, Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every season when a team who's been promoted or a team who's by the bottom of the table, they have like a great game against a big team. And everyone says the same thing. If they can play like this all season, they'll finish in the top half. And guess what? Usually they get relegated or they finish at the bottom because it's Liverpool, and it's getting up for Liverpool. And I watched Marco Silva's interview after, and he knew, bro. Yeah. He knew. He said we have to just beat the individual battles today. Apart from Nunes, no one won.
No, them players won't.
Yeah.
Them players won't. Them players at Fulham will not play at that level. I'll be shocked if they can get to that level again this season.
Yeah. Am I bad in saying I might as well just what I say in it because it's what the game, the individual game.
Free speech, go for it.
You know Mitrovic's goal?
Yeah.
Not the penalty. It was bad goalkeeping as well, bro. I'm sorry. What it was.
What Ali?
I watched it the first time.
And Ali's undercooked as well, ain't he?
Yeah, I watched it the first time, and then I watched it back. The penalty he got close to, but can't do nothing about his penalty, whatever. If you watch it back and see how close the ball was to his hand, don't get me wrong, I get it, and I've been in goal before. Like when something's that close to you and you're not expect it shocks you, and you just wave your hand at it, but it's still at his near post, and it's not that high.
I do agree. When I first saw it, I thought could have Ali done a little bit better. But again, that is
not his fault though, because there was stuff before that.
Ain't that the first game Ali's played this season? I don't think he played pre-season at all, did he? So
none. That's what I said to my son.
He's undercooked as well. He's a bit undercooked as well. Yeah. So get it all out now. Get it all out of the system now and move.
That is the biggest positive energy. Like
That's what Klopp's going to tell him. That's what Klopp's going to tell him. Get it all out of your system.
I wouldn't want this in the fifth game. Like we're on a momentum and then all of a sudden we draw. I don't want that. So
no. It wouldn't shock me now if we went on 10-game winning streak. It wouldn't. It
wouldn't shock me. Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me at all. Like this happens. I know rivals are loving it. Arsenal are loving it. Man City are loving it. Man United are loving it. I've seen Man United fans can't wait now to the third game when we play them in a couple of weeks' time. They can't wait now. They're up.
Big up to them, man. But see, man, they should hold out a little bit till the play tomorrow, just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case you get egg on your face. And seriously, but they should hold out a little bit. And Arsenal, I expect it for them. And listen, I like when Arsenal fans get like this, bro, because you know what happens, bro, when that meltdown comes, bro.
Oh, I know.
Arsenal will go and that they're going to go on a run, where they're unbeaten in like 15, but really they've won 4. And then and then they're going to play somebody and lose, and the meltdown's coming. I love it, man.
Chelsea fans think they will be above Liverpool. I mean, look, I think everyone in the world is so happy that Liverpool didn't win today. I mean, like Liverpool are the most hated team in the league. It's a fact.
I love it.
And everyone loves it. But look, it was a shit performance. We didn't win. You could see Klopp on the sidelines. He didn't know what to do because I think he was dumbstruck by how shit we were. You could see it in his face. He was like, I'm looking at my bench. I'm looking what I've got on the pitch. I'm like, he looked dumbstruck that we weren't fighting. And it amazes, right? This is why Milner signed a 1-year extension, by the way. You can see it. When James Milner comes on the pitch and outperforms everyone at 37 years of age, you've got to look at yourself in the mirror. You really have. Some of these first teamers need to have a look at themselves seriously and go, I've got a 37-year-old Milner coming on, showing more intensity, showing more mobility, showing more fight than I did for 90 minutes. I think you have to look at yourself in the mirror.
Intensity and fight never leaves Milner.
No.
Ever.
He could be 50.
Sometimes
like
the
that.
fight's too much to the point where he'll kick you in and get a yellow card straight
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
But he never drops that. So listen, I don't know if you Rose fighting the game yet. I don't know why I found it so funny. Did you see when Hendo was screaming at Nunes?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I know why in it, because obviously Nunes started to trap back and then just stopped.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's just thinking, no, I'll trap back to the halfway line like strikers normally do. I'll just wait.
New to the team, ain't he? Yeah.
When Hendo ran past him, tackled the person, and then the look he gave him and just screaming, I was in stitches, man. I'm like, welcome to the Premier League, bro. This ain't the Portuguese league. You can just mess around, bro. Like this.
No, exactly. That won't ever happen again. It's like when Simicast got slapped by Milner on the pitch, wasn't it?
Yeah, man. They all need it, man. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, look, what was the mad thing is, when Henderson and Milner are on the pitch together in midfield, we were better. That's mad. That's just a madness. Now you could say, were we better, or were Fulham just getting a bit tired and the game started to open up a bit? I don't know, but there was definitely a change. Hendo as a player, like, I'm going to speak about Hendo now, because the Hendo, like, I've heard comments in the chat today, Hendo's dead, he's dusted, he's finished. Look, I think Hendo as a player, the way he wants to play the game, I think he suits the 6 more than the 8 for himself.
It'll benefit his career if he plays in the 6.
When Fabinho came off and he went into that number 6 position, he was more comfortable and he was better on the ball. It suits his game because he's sitting back deeper. He has more vision of what's in front of him, and he doesn't have to do that continuously running up and down on the right hand side from box to box.
Agreed.
It suits his game a lot better. Played a 6. I mean, he had that excellent long effort at the end of the game at the bar. I mean, that went in. Jesus Christ!
And you know that thingy as well. You know the cover. What me and you always talk about. We call it babysitting for Trent when he leaves. Yeah. Well, if he's doing that from the 6, he doesn't have far to do it, and it's next to him.
No, exactly. He's more.
Whereas when he's doing it now, he's gone forward. He has to run back. I think the fair criticism is to say that what is in Henderson's head, Henderson's body can't do anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's because he's such an intense player. And I think that goes for Hendo. I think that goes for Bobby. Goes for Milner sometimes. But obviously Milner's is a little bit more understandable. He's a little bit older than them and stuff like that. Sometimes you'll see Milner trap back, keep up with somebody, but the tackle's like a tad late. And he's not tried to take him out. It's just that he's not quick enough because that person's faster. Usually, like Foden's a great example when he does that. He's really not trying to take him out. He's just not fast enough. So everyone goes through that. To be fair, it happened to Mane. Even though Mane is still a quick player and a strong player, what he could do in his brain was what he was doing 2 years before. And what his body was showing on the pitch was the first touch was gone. It wasn't as good anymore. Right. Bobby's passes are under hit. Hendo's technique sometimes is off and he's searching for a pass. I like the fact that he's always looking forward, but sometimes it ain't working. Whereas when he's in that 6, man, he just gets it, recycles it, gives it, and then he can marshal them. I love it, man. And him as a captain in there with his voice, speaking to the back four and speaking to who's in front of him and speaking to Trent helps way better than
I think
just blasting up and down the pitch.
I think that's what I think Klopp's going to have to look at it sometimes. Well, you and me have said this before. Sometimes Fabinho might not be the answer to play that number 6 role in certain games. Maybe Hendo, because he has got more mobility than Fabinho, would just be more suited in that game to and at the end of the day, it still doesn't mean one's a shit player. You can change tactics up and players around for certain games and systems. Doesn't have to mean that someone's a terrible footballer. It just
I've seen Man City do with Fernandinho, especially last season, and the season before it's coming to the end. And don't get me wrong, Firmino should play more games than Fernandinho was. Yeah. But there was games where you're looking at, you're like, haha, Fernandinho's playing. There's no Man City, you messed up there. No, they haven't. No. Because he's just in that one spot. He doesn't have to keep running around. And he can just distribute the ball. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, to be fair. I think, especially with everybody wanting a midfielder. And listen, when I say everybody, of course I do as well, but I can't. I'm not going to whinge about it constantly.
There's no point.
I don't have FSG's money. I don't know what the talk is behind the scenes. I don't know if like before this, I don't know if they're still talking about we're probably going to need a midfielder and stuff. We're going to play on with the season and things like that. and then things just keep happening back. I don't know, you know what I mean? So there's no point everyone keep coming back and telling me, oh, Klopp said this in his interview, and Klopp said this. Mate, you lot do realise that when you watch BT Sport and he's getting interviewed, he got interviewed by somebody on beIN Sport, and then he got interviewed by somebody on the BBC, and then bro, it's not like it's one interview.
They're
so
like hour-long press conferences, aren't they?
Yeah. So if 4 people asked him, what you think you're going to get a midfielder in? When he gets to the 5th one, he might be a little bit pissed though. Start asking me dumb questions.
Yeah. I've answered it many times.
Yeah, and then I'm going to go in and get in the press junket after, where there's about 12 reporters, and then all he's going to ask me the same question again. And, you know, he doesn't think as football as life and death all the time. So when you say stuff to him like, is the league over because you've drawn a game and Man City ain't even played yet? And by the way, we don't even know how Man City is going to be all season. Then he's thinking, what are you talking about? Well, I've got 37 more games, bro. Like, if this is the game, why we lose the league, then so be it, because that means we've won 37 other games and Man City's won 38. And if that's the case, they deserve to win the league. So this can't be the defining moment. It's just how you bounce back from it. Now, Crystal Palace is a good team, but they play open as well.
Yeah.
So they might try to go toe-to-toe with us and fail on it. We'll see what happens.
Palace are extremely undercooked as well. Patrick Vieira said it. A lot of their players didn't play pre-season because of the COVID rules around the world, where you're not allowed in if you ain't had jabs and stuff.
There are 2 separate pre-seasons. One was in Crystal Palace with the main players, but that wasn't really their pre-season. It's just so.
Ravi, what would this channel be if Jay just lied to us? And big up Jay and Savage for speaking facts.
Big up Ravi.
Yeah, I think I'll never do. I'm not going to come on there. I've said it many times. I'm not going to come on there and just go, he's dead. FSG, what you doing? You buy midfielders, Klopp, what you do? You know, I don't. That's just being. I said it before I went live. I sat here for 3 minutes on my own, thinking in my head. It's like my opening bit of this video is like I was just thinking in my head, how am I going to go about this? Because I could easily turn it on, get my microphone, and just slag everything off, and get 200 people in there all applauding. Yes, James ain't like. This is how we all feel. Or actually just analyse a game of football that I just watched and break it down properly.
Well, I agree with you, man. I think you're great at what you do, yeah. And you're only going to get better by being level-headed and actually looking at the game. If you come on and ranting and raving, you might get more views because you've seen us some psychopath and you get a few more subscribers. But what's going to happen is when all of a sudden Liverpool will continue winning, and then they're going to be like, you're boring because why are you not screaming anymore? Because let's be honest, there's some Liverpool YouTube channels out there. I don't care. I'm sending for all ears. There's a few out there that you even ranting and raving when we win. When we win, they're still going mad just because I need to get the views in. So let me keep saying that Naby's trash, even though he weren't playing and he weren't there. Like let's say that Curtis he weren't there, but let's keep. We know, bro. We know how the algorithm works, and we know how you use with your views and that. But being true to yourself will get you somewhere in the end, bro. Like, is what it is, bro. What is the point? Like, we've seen performances in the past where they've been way worse than this, and everyone needs to get destroyed. Aston Villa, but. Apart from that, man, they just didn't play well. They didn't play. And let's not act like Fulham didn't play extremely good as well. That wasn't a little bit good. Fulham, they were great, man. They
can't disrespect your opponent. You know what I mean?
The way they were defending, listen, they deserved the win. To be fair, but we didn't want to get back into the game. Salah was quiet for a bit of the game, but once second half he was sharp, man.
I mean, I think, you know, like everyone will get better and sharper in this team. There's no doubt about it. Carvalho was decent when he came on as well. I mean, that shot he had. I mean, if he could
the volley,
if they get that into the ground a little bit, you can see the quality he's got. You can really see it. Like Gary says there, do you think we should go 4-2-3-1 in some games? Yeah, Bobby in that 10. I think that's a possibility going forward in the season. Guys, we've got to remember this is the first game. You know, we got a 10-month season. It's a long season, and you know, we've got opportunities to change different things in the season as we go on. Look, we do have an issue in midfield. We have got a few injuries now. Now Thiago's injured. I do think we actually might go into the transfer market because Thiago's a big one.
I think we've been looking anyway, Jay. I said it the other day. I think when people kept saying, "Do you think we'll get one?" Yeah, when people kept saying, "Do you think we'll get one?" I said no. But if you ask me, do you think we're looking at one? I'm like, yeah. The chances are that's how Liverpool normally work. We've got our eye on a few people already.
Yeah.
Some are going to be like, oh, we can't get them this season. Some are like, he's kind of on the list and we kind of want him. And if everything fails, we'll get him. But we would rather have this guy. But at the same time, man, it depends on how long injuries are going to take for people to get back and that. Because let's not pretend all the time that some of the people who get injured are people who are not playing in it. So when people try and throw like Ox into our injury thing, I'm like, are you taking a piss, bro? This man's injured every season. Don't try and count him into that, bro. Don't try and count him into the number of injuries. He's always injured. Yeah. But I'm sure they'll look at it, but I think they won't panic, and I think no one should panic because as much as the midfield weren't great today, just analyze where the goals came from in it. And the one was a massive cross to the back post, and Trent probably should just look behind him. The other one's a penalty. Van Dijk caught off balance, and then he knocked knees. And to be fair, listen, it was soft. But if it happened to us, I would have wanted the penalty as well.
Yeah, I think it was a pen. But I will say as
rare
well,
things happen in it. Like
Hendo was fouled as well for their first goal. Let's be fair.
100%.
That was a foul. Now you can't go back because it was so far after that they scored. So
last season you could have, but they changed the rules again.
But they've changed it, ain't they? But for me, the ref should have blown the whistle anyway. It was a foul. When Matt Maniman was going, that weren't nothing.
Oh, listen, Mac.
The man stood on his foot.
You know what Matt Maniman does, innit? He's got that thing. Well,
he's a blue, ain't he? That's the thing.
You know, man, it's weird. Or you get them people who are like, if they're a Liverpool fan and a pundit, or a Man U fan and a pundit, they try really hard to go the other way and be even harder on the person. Because I've seen Carragher do it with Liverpool sometimes. I've seen Neville do it with Man U. But like I said, where the goals came from, like if you watch the Mitrovic run, he had one not long before that against Van Dijk, and Van Dijk just covered him and he turned around. He didn't know what to do with it, and he played good. You know what I mean? Second time he caught a little sign, you know what I mean, and then he caught Van Dijk off balance, bro. And penalty is penalty, bro. You can't do nothing about it. It happens.
It was a weird performance from Van Dijk today. I've never seen Van Dijk look worried. That is the first time I've seen Van Dijk look a bit shook up and worried in a game. And I've seen comments on Reddit that Van Dijk's finished. He's caught up with him now, and all this sort of crap.
It's just fuck's sake, man. People go watch the game. I know you don't want to watch the game, but go watch the game.
It's the first bad game I've seen Van Dijk play for Liverpool properly. In how many years has he been at the club now? It's the first real bad game I've ever seen Van Dijk play. I mean, everyone's waiting for it. Look, everyone's undercooked. Everyone's undercooked. We had a very short pre-season. They didn't play enough games.
Man, I don't even think it. Honestly, bro.
I don't think fitness is quite there yet.
Yeah, it's not, man. It's not
quicker. But
I actually don't even think it was that. I don't even think it was that terrible, to be honest. I mean, I do wonder with some people, like, if we had won the game, would everyone still be screwing about that person's performance like that? Now, I've seen him play worse because I've seen him against Brentford and I saw him against Villa, and them games should not be spoke about again. He was terrible in them games. The Villa one, that should go in the vault somewhere, and the Brentford one, he looked all over the place. But
he just come
if the Don's like the best midfield in the world for the best centre back in the world for 95% of the games, then what do you want me to do, man? Like,
he's got to have the off shit game.
And I think you're right about him looking worried. I think it's because the first half, most stuff wasn't going down his side, and he was fine on his side on it. As much as they kept attacking us, he was fine. But when you're watching the rest of your back four be rattled by everyone, and then all of a sudden you can't keep him calm when you normally do, it puts a bit of an edge on you, innit? And then all of a sudden that's one thing I don't like. Every now and again it happens where we all become rattled at the same time. It happens with Man City as well. So I don't know if it's just a thing where you watch games with Man City, innit? They'll concede a goal, and then for the next 10 minutes they are rattled, and it's time to attack them in that 10 minutes. And if you weather the storm, you're fine. But the problem with us is there weren't no weather in the storm. Fulham did not stop, bro.
No.
So
no.
It's one of them.
You got to give you up to Fulham at the end of the day. They performed brilliantly, and sometimes you have these games, but that we didn't. As say, Alisson had his first game. He's not even played pre-season, so he's going to be a bit undercooked. That's fair enough to say.
Yeah, of course.
I think Darwin Núñez though is a massive positive, and he's shutting everyone up already. I mean, he really is. And that performance again, he's so alive in his pace. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He is. You look at him, you think he's 6'1". He's quite, is he got? My God, he's quick. He's very quick, and he's very quick over like 2 or 3 yards. Weird thing to say, maybe over 2 or 3 yards, but
it's acceleration.
He's acceleration from some people, they build up pace as they're running, don't they?
Yeah.
And then they get quicker and quicker. He's sort of like straight away. Like that's why they're in the box. He's going to be absolutely devastating. The places. I mean, he got his goal. Well deserved. He almost scored before that with exactly the same flick,
same move.
He's got arrogance to him, which I love as a striker.
That was a great tackle from Fulham, by the way, on the first one. Jesus.
Yeah, beautiful. But he's got arrogance as a striker, and I like that. I like arrogance in a striker. Yeah. And he's got confidence as well. I mean, he did it once, didn't work. He went to the well again.
Went straight back.
Time. And then BT Sports trying to make it sound like it was an own goal to take it off him.
Oh, they got to stop this, man.
What are they watching? It came clean off his foot.
Mate, Diaz will benefit. Yeah, Diaz will benefit so much from Nunes being on the pitch. So much, bro. Because like I said to you, Bobby and Diaz playing together is not a problem because of their quality. It's a problem because Liverpool, since however long on the clock, probably since Coutinho left, our front three works in a certain way, innit? There's 2 people who score all the goals, and there's one who chips in with the goals and is the creative player, which is Bobby, innit?
Yeah.
Then it became, Jota and, Then they started doing it, Jota and Salah and blah, blah. And then now, Diaz is what Bobby was, where he should be chipping in with goals and doing the creativity. And trust me, the reason why he keeps coming inside when Bobby's on the pitch is because Bobby's not in the box. If he was in the box, I'll be there to cross it to you. Even with listen, I know Robbo was annoying today, but at the same point, if Nunes is on the pitch and Robbo's running down the left, he's got someone to cross the ball. And if you notice that sometimes Robbo has to go into the byline and then cut in and keep the ball and then pass it because there's no one in the box yet.
Yeah.
And he done one today, which I actually like the cross. It looked like it wasn't a shot, but it's like that hard cross he done.
Yeah.
And I think Diaz just missed it because it was so powerful. But if Nunes was in the box, he would have scored because that's where he is all the time.
Yeah, that's why I'm never going to worry Darwin's going to score goals.
I actually think we're going to get some high-scoring games, for us. I think there's going to be games where we batter people this season if Nunes is on the pitch because he's either going to occupy space so Salah can score. I think the midfielders were chipping a little bit more as well. But I would say that the Mane era's done now. So all these keep going on about Mane, bro.
We didn't miss Mane today.
Yeah, it's like he's
I've had that already.
That, he's gone, bro,
that shows what Mane would have done today if Mane.
And there's this thing where the new player has to do what the old player used to do, even though the old player wasn't doing it lately. He was doing it years ago. That's not how football works, and that's not what Diaz isn't there to do. What Mane was doing.
No,
he's a different type of player, but he's there to offer something different and help out in the team. And I'm sure that
Darwin will get Mane goals.
Oh man, I think so.
Darwin will get the Mane goals and Diaz will get the extra little bit, which means which means we've actually got more in our attack than we did before. Which people are not looking at, people are not looking at it like that. People are not looking at it like that. We actually got rid of one attacker and got 2 in. So
that's my point, yeah.
Darwin's going to get goals. You can tell already the positions he gets himself in. He's going to be in the side of the box, as you say, for them Robbo crosses, then Trent crosses. He's going to get on the end of a lot of crosses this season. Yeah. They're not always going to score, but he's going to be in that position. And because he's in that position, he's going to frighten defenders. Because he's going to frighten defenders, it's going to leave space as the season goes on for Diaz on the left and Mo on the right to do their thing.
Yeah.
And as soon as that 3 starts to get a nice little partnership going, I just want to see that 3 play now. I think against Palace, I think Klopp's just going to have to go and put Darwin up top and just let Diaz, Salah and Darwin just try and, I think he's got to look at it now and go, right, that's my 3 up front. Then the other, I've got Carvalho, Bobby and Jota in the wings as well. So that's my 3 I've got to go with. And I think they all benefit off each other. They
Yeah.
really are as the season goes on. That's why I'm not
Agreed.
so concerned. That's why I said I wouldn't be surprised if we went on a 10-game winning streak after this, because our fixtures ain't actually that bad for the next 10 games.
That's why I said what I said in the chat, because last week everyone told me that we're the third or second best team in Europe behind Real Madrid and Man City, and now all of a sudden, because we drew a game, we're trash. Well,
exactly.
I don't think that's going to happen, and I don't know how long. I don't think it'll be just yet, but I don't know how long Elliot's going to be able to be like start on the bench, bro, because clearly he offers something different, and the other team doesn't know what to do with it. The other team doesn't know what to do with it when Elliot's on the pitch, bro. And he lost the ball a few times, but that's him trying to acclimate, like you're trying to get to it and acclimatize what is going on. And he loves it. He's a confident one as well, and he loves it. So quite rare to hear like the Fulham fans booing him though. That was weird to me, bro. Like they were clapping Carvalho and that, but when Elliot was warming up, they were booing him, and I was like,
they don't like Elliot. They don't like Elliot. I got a mate who's at Fulham, part of the youth system staff over there, and he was telling me about Harvey and all that. And Harvey, because Harvey's a Liverpool fan, and Liverpool's been in him, and I think he was desperate for the Liverpool transfer, and they like Carvalho a bit better, but they're not. He's not. I don't know why. But Harvey's a diamond, an absolute diamond. And I don't want to we can't put pressure on him because he's only a kid.
Not,
but you see his qualities today. That little, there was a little flick over the top as well that I thought was fantastic. The commentary didn't even mention it either, by the way. They didn't big it up enough. Like he had the ball and he had two players round him, and he just did this little flick over their head into the space for Salah to run into. And no one sort of mentioned it. And I'm like, are you going to mention that bit of quality by Elliot there? Right. Like, that was really good awareness by him. He knew where Mo was, found him in space. Yeah, they got a good partnership. Mo always looks for Elliot. Elliot looks for Mo. Yeah. And then Mo's really looking for Diaz, ain't he? I
was going to say that, man. Salah looks like he wants to assist every time he gets the ball now.
Yeah, looking at Nunes thinking, get there and I'm going to get the ball to you. And we can play 1-2s off each other. I'll get the ball to you, you score. Yeah, Mo's looking for him all the time.
Yeah.
Mo weren't looking for Bobby one bit when Bobby was on the pitch. But the problem is Bobby's behind him. That's the difference.
That's my point, bro. He's always in a position where like
Bobby's behind him.
If I pass you this ball, it slows down the whole build up because you're behind me, bro. And you're only behind me because it's what you've been taught to do and you were great at it. But
we've changed now. We've changed.
I sincerely hope that whenever Bobby starts again, either in the league, it's probably going to be in a cup game or something like that, which is fine because I said this anyway. Because you're part of our team, whether you're part, whatever you do in it.
Exactly.
I hope that like play him as a number 9, bro. And I know it's probably him. I think you're 100% right. I think trying to coach that out of his game is a bit mad. But if you don't, you're going to get left behind, bro, because it's almost like, when a team plays with like somebody in the 6 who is ultra deep, and they come all the way up to the centre back to ask for the ball for no reason, and then they just do a 5-yard pass. What I could have done anyway. That's what Bobby does in the false 9. He comes deep to where Thiago and that is, asks for the ball, and then gives it to Diaz, who's 5 yards away from him. I'm like, bro, Thiago could have done that anyway. That is simple. So, but
exactly.
Yeah, Fulham were very smart with what they did today. They attacked Diaz and they attacked Thiago, bro, and they knew that like just keep bullying them.
Yeah, they didn't let Thiago pass the ball at all, did they?
Nah, they didn't. They didn't let him pass the ball, bro. They didn't let him pass the ball at all, bro. It's ridiculous.
Shame about his injury. I mean, I don't know what Klopp says. Klopp says it's a serious one. I don't know. I don't know what's it. I mean, the thing with Klopp and injuries that does make me laugh. He said, "I love it when Klopp talks about injuries because they'll be back soon. You don't see him for 6 months." And he doesn't really express himself with injuries. Like he doesn't want to talk about it. He's like they're out.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because
you're seeing sort of
it's a weird one, isn't it? Because we do this on YouTube and we want to talk Liverpool constantly and stuff like that. But I think as fans we always feel like we're entitled to know what's going on, and that might be a thing. But like sometimes it's like, whether we're entitled to knowing that, can we let them have a chance to find out? Because sometimes they ask Klopp, and he looks so confused because he's like, "Listen, you do know that I'm not the one who finds out. I don't like go and scan him myself. I have to wait. Like now, because if anyone knows how it works behind the scenes in a football team,
24
they're
hours
like
of the scan.
yeah.
Exactly.
And then, but Pep Linders probably find out before Klopp does.
Yeah.
And they come into the office and he's like, "Oh, Jurgen, yeah, Thiago." And he's gonna go, "What's the number on it?" And he's like, just looking however many long. And he's like, "Ah, okay, I guess I'll have to address the press when I speak in the conference next week." It doesn't work like Klopp's. People think that Klopp's waiting for a text message from the medical team to go, "He's injured, he's out." That's not what happens, bro. It's a completely separate like department. It's completely separate.
So he won't go to a scan till probably Monday because it's Sunday tomorrow. So
exactly,
probably have a scan on Monday. We'll find out on Tuesday, Wednesday. So it takes its time, unfortunately, because we're content creators. You want to know everything straight away, so you can.
Yeah.
You know,
glad he walked off the pitch though. I'm glad he walked off the pitch.
I mean, I thought he was going to stay on for a minute because they were icing his leg and all that, and then I thought, hang on, what's going on? And then he walked off. So I'm hoping, like Klopp said, it looked a serious one. I'm hoping it's just a tweak, but he hasn't obviously ripped it off the muscle or anything horrible like that. So if it's a tear, if it's a tear grade 2 or 3, it's usually 4 to 6 weeks, ain't it?
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the world, and that is not going to make Klopp buy a midfielder, by the way. Everyone who's asking, a 4 to 6 week injury is not going to make Jurgen Klopp buy anyone, because as Jurgen Klopp would say, he's back in 4 to 6 weeks. So what's the point?
I think our fan base has tortured himself on it, man.
Yeah, when Klopp meant injuries, he meant Van Dijk, Gomez type injury.
Yeah.
12-month injury that they're not going to play any part of the season. That's what he meant by injuries, not these 4 to 6 week long injuries. Because, in 4 to 6 weeks' time, you go have Thiago back probably, Curtis Jones back, Jota back. Everything looks a bit more rosy, don't it? So, that's what Klopp means by it. Jamie Hugo, did you watch the Everton Chelsea? I did not. I was asleep.
I did.
Chelsea, weren't it?
Yeah, I'll be honest. First half, Everton looked pretty good, to be fair. In fact, they probably felt hard done by. Well, not hard done by in terms of like the penalty wasn't a penalty, but the fact that Decore gave it away when they were the better team. Sterling looked great though. Like he was on. He was the best player on the pitch, bro. He was on job. So Chelsea they still look a bit iffy. Like Reece James and Chilwell didn't look too good. Koulibaly looked all right. Mason Mount and Havertz, meh. Kante looked good again. So I don't know if he's just had a rest, but he looked. There was part of I was watching him in the game, like doing kick-ups past people and stuff. So I don't know, man. But and I think Godfrey got a bad injury, man.
Oh, that's all Everton.
I don't know what it was. I don't know. It looked like it was a broken ankle to me, but it probably isn't. But he was down for ages because there was 10 minutes added on. There was 10 minutes added on at the end of the game, and I didn't see why for that because I went toilet. But in the first half, there was 8 minutes added on at the end, and he was screaming. And he called for it straight away. It's Pickford's fault, to be fair, which is mad, isn't it? Because that's what happened with us. Because the ball went out, and he tried to keep it in for no reason. Godfrey tried to come back and cover it, and the ball had already went out, and then he got took out. But he was screaming. He called for the medical service himself, and then they took ages to take him off on a stretcher, and he had the gas mask thing on. So Everton or not, man, hopefully he's okay, isn't it?
The gas is for extreme pain, ain't it? So pain.
So I don't know, man. Everton started last season top of the table, didn't they? And they thought they were going to win the Prem. So there's no point me even saying that.
That was hilarious. Gumbo, my man, it's criminal if Klopp starts for me now and Henderson again. Well, I guess I have to start now. Thiago's injured. Jamie, you just scored a goal for PSG, did I? Was there a Phillips? For PSG. Everyone forgets that Keita ain't injured, by the way. He's just got a virus. He's just ill. Like, Keita ain't injured. He should be fine for Palace. So that's a week. That's over a week away yet because we play on Monday night. So, if Keita's back for Monday, you got Keita there, you got Hendo, you got Milner, you got Fabinho. Curtis Jones won't be far off. Yeah, they got Harvey Elliott, you got Carvalho, you got options. There's still options there. That's what Klopp's going to be looking at. That's why he's not going to probably buy anyone. It all depends on Thiago's injury by Tuesday or Wednesday. If Thiago's out for a lot longer, he might look at it, but if it's just like 2 to 4 weeks, Curtis Jones 2 to 4 weeks. Katie's just got the virus, so he's fit. He's just not.
Yeah, he's fit.
So, yeah, I mean, I know Henderson. Look, everyone's on Henderson's back. I mean, I don't know what to do. I've said my thing on Hendo. Savage has said his thing on Hendo. It's just people's opinions. I've already said if people think someone is not up to it, then I'm not going to argue someone's opinion because that's their opinion. You know what I mean? It's just no. I have very strong opinions on things. Everyone can argue about it, but I'm not going to change my mind on my own opinion. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's my opinion. So I don't argue with anyone else's opinion. I think it's if someone's opinion is that, someone else's opinion is that, what's the point in arguing? Because there's no point. That's why I'm fine with that. I'm fine with people thinking Hendo's done, he's dusted. That's your opinion. I'm not going to argue with it because it's your opinion. What I hate is when people then bully that opinion and put it on social media and stuff like that for clicks. Just to bully that opponent. That pisses me off. That's not.
It's weird.
That's not needed. You can have your opinion. There's no doubt about it, but you don't need to then like make something of it. Just like have your opinion and just leave it as that. I'm happy with it. You know what I mean?
I just well, I muted it then because I just played the end of Klopp's interview to see what he was on about the injury because I didn't see that part, man.
No,
but he just said they asked him they said how's Thiago's injury, and he said I don't know. He didn't. He just said I don't know. I think it's his hamstring, so we'll have to see. That's what he said.
Right, there we go. Hopefully, it's just a tweak.
Yeah, which makes sense because Thiago's the one who has to come off, and he got up and then he looked like he's going to carry on, and he has to come off. So
yeah, it looked like hopefully it's just a tweak, like he felt something because he didn't limp. He weren't limping when he came off. He looked a bit heavy on the leg. So if it's just a tweak, just rest him up, massages, all that sort of stuff, and we shouldn't need him against Crystal Palace on a Monday night at home.
Yeah, I will say that is my point about a lot of what I've been saying. Don't get me wrong. The midfielders through the season and stuff. If everyone stayed injured for the whole season, then yes, fair enough. Everyone's got some saying. I don't mind that. But my point being is Fulham and Crystal Palace. I rate both teams, but one has just come from the Championship and one is still like a mid-table team, and we finished second and have been won the Premier in the last 5 years in the Champions League. So I'm just saying, if we can't beat them teams with like Thiago out, something wrong in it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can kind of tell the fact that the whole team seemed off in the first half, and it only seemed like Diaz and Thiago were trying stuff. Is kind of a thing to say that, like, well, yeah.
Do you know what? I would actually worry if I was a Palace fan right now, because they're gonna have to. I've seen it with Liverpool so many times through disappointment. They come back and either battle the team they're playing next, or it's just. They're going to take their frustrations out on Palace. That's what I'm going to say right now. Big up John Conway with the €5 super chat. Big up, friend. Big up James Savage. Do you know when the new third Liverpool kit's coming out?
I don't, bro.
I don't. I've not heard anything about it. Now, there was that male model in the greenish kit, weren't there?
Yeah, the ASOS model. It was a real picture as well.
Is it a real picture? So if that is a real picture, that's a lovely kit, by the way. So
that's the dark green one, isn't it?
Yeah. Our kit got rated the worst in the Premier League as well, on Never a Foul. Did you see?
On the Man City channel. That's
big up Never a Foul. I like them guys over there. They're good. Yeah. They know what they're doing though. Mad, we got 4 mids injured now. Really need to dive into the market. Yeah, I mean, we don't like. I don't understand what everyone's saying. Thiago needs to play with ice packs on. Walked off the pitch. Nonsense. Needs to start Virgil United this series. Yeah, I mean that's
it's not nonsense though, bro. I do sports science, but it's not nonsense. The Virgil thing's quite rare to walk off and then be that injured. Adrenaline and that in it, but yeah, it's what it is.
The thing is, in that 4 to 6 weeks time, Cater will get injured. To be fair, Cater, he wasn't actually that injured last season.
He wasn't, and he's not injured now. He's just sick.
Klopp just didn't play him last season that much. He actually weren't even that injured last season. I think I saw the amount of time he was off injured last season, and he actually weren't that much in comparison.
He wasn't injured much last season at all, bro. Yeah.
No, he was just weren't being played because his performances weren't there. Simple as that. But Jamie say it. Don't take the fans like clowns. What? Oh, what Klopp was saying. Yep. I think people delve too much into what Klopp says in press conferences. They really do. It's like they try and cipher everything what Klopp says in a press conference. And
Can I say, Jay? Can I say this year? When I watch interviews with Klopp and I'm with my missus, she sees something completely different to what I used to see.
Yeah.
And then when I said it to her, I'm like, she's like, nah, she's like Scandinavian and German people. That's how we speak. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, what are you on about? And it's like
to the point.
Very, very straightforward to the point where it sounds like they're being rude sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, I don't know why people take it personal because I'm answering the question. Even if has anyone seen what Haaland's interviews used to be like?
Yeah.
Weird. Bro, they'll ask him like, how do you think you played today? And he'll be like, I played good. And he'll just go quiet. And he's like, I don't know what your problem is, but I've answered your question. So with Klopp, listen, of course he seems annoyed sometimes, but he seems more annoyed by questions that don't matter towards like what are retaining to football. Because you're asking him stuff about off the pitch things. And he keeps it's like when you ask him about transfers, how many times does Klopp go to people? You've known me long enough now that I don't want to talk about transfers.
Yeah.
Even when players are like, even when all the journalists are saying this player's a done deal over the line, and to be fair, the next day we sign them, Klopp won't tell you the day before. It just be like, his thing used to be that I'm trying to be respectful of the other team, because if the other team hasn't said anything yet, imagine that like our player's about to leave, like i.e. Mane, because he just left in it, or Taki. So we don't know any as fans. We don't know that we're losing Taki, but Monaco already know that they're getting him. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
And then we look on Monaco's Twitter and they're all happy because they got Taki. We're like, hold on a minute. That's our player, bro. Same with injuries. He does. I always praising you on this because you always say this about Klopp. With his the way he views certain things. I don't want to put it back on this, but when the whole COVID thing was talking about and the people get asking him questions about it, he will always say, I'm not the smartest man in the world, so I leave the experts at their field to tell me. So that's why you just believe anything the scientists said, because it's like, that's their job. With his coaching staff, if say you're the goalkeeper coach, well, whatever the goalkeeper coach tells him is what he'll put on and go, okay, I'm picking Alisson. He doesn't look at you and think off the top of his head. That's why he's always praising the staff when we win stuff, because he's like, it's not me. He's like, I do the man management stuff and I'm all right with the tactics, but I need Pep Linders to do this and I need... Dave, we got the book, man. I'm going to find out some more stuff about this book. It's...
I agree. I've always said it with Klopp. You know, it's just the way he is. Don't decipher. I mean, what I always say, try not to decipher everything Klopp says in press conferences. He's quite straight talking. Yeah. When he says injuries, he's not meaning these 3 to 4 week injuries. He just doesn't need to tell you what he means. He's just saying it. So, I mean, he's not lying to the fans or anything. He's just telling you as it is. And like today, he said in his press conference, like, Fulham were excellent today. He's even said today felt like a loss, not a draw, because of the way the team played. And it's true.
Tell you the funniest thing I saw today, bro. And half of the fan base were killing Klopp for it.
Ben, by the way.
And this is what I hate about no context to stuff. Did you see the part where Klopp said about the pitch being dry?
No, I didn't actually.
My God, Jay, I'm not joking. You're going to be glad that your power ran out, bro. They were losing their damn mind online. I watched him say it, but he didn't say we lost the game because the pitch was dry. He was talking about the parts in the game where we were missing out on stuff and our passing wasn't working. And, if the pitch is dry, then you can't afford to be under-hitting passes, bro. And we were second to every ball. And he said that every time, because Fulham were first to everything, every time they got the ball, there was momentum behind it. And he said every time we got the ball, we lost it, so we built no momentum. I'm not making it up. I went on YouTube, and like ESPN, they had the Klopp's picture, and in quote marks, it said the pitch was dry. And then I seen people on other chats write it in the comment section of people's like chats on Liverpool channels. And then the host of the channels, instead of going to watch what he said, they're just like, oh my God, can't believe Klopp again.
Now he's
the joke. Now he's the joke of the town, because
I've always seen in his press conference that he said Fulham deserved everything today. He praised Fulham's performance.
Bro, in the BT interview, he said if we got back into the game, he said we had enough chances that we probably could have won the game, and he said, but I don't think that would have been fair.
Yeah, exactly. So where's the excuse? Like, the thing is, though, I see. I watch snooker quite a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like snooker.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
watch a game of snooker, and I see the top elite snooker players like your Ronnie O'Sullivan's, Neil
Love
Robinson,
it.
stuff
Love
like
it.
that. Right?
Yeah.
They moan about if the blaze is too slow on a snooker table,
Yeah.
and they can't perform properly because the
Yeah.
table's shit. Right? They're not using it as an excuse why they win or lose. They're just making that point, and that's sort of what Klopp is saying about a pitch.
Honestly,
I mean,
it's always Klopp. Bro,
it's not
when he said last week about which proved to be right, didn't it? Because after Darwin went and scored 4 goals. But do you remember when it was like, oh, how'd you rate Darwin's performance? Like, he was like, he was good. He said we didn't do too well for him because we kept giving him long balls to run after, and he's got blisters. Oh, the quote was, Klopp said the reason why Nunes was rubbish is because he had blisters. Oh my God! You know, if you've actually got blisters, you just got blisters, bro. Just because he's being honest.
Anyone
doesn't mean it's
just walk to the shop with a blister. It's excruciating.
Bro, just because he's being honest doesn't mean it's an excuse. If you come on here and said to me, like, listen, I've done the YouTube video and that, but I was tired. And I was like, okay. And you just carried on, and I'm like, oh, Jay, you didn't get as many views on that video. You just said, it's like, yeah, I didn't say it was because I was tired. I just told you I was tired, bro. I didn't say that, bro. But that's what you get to, man. But I get it, man. People don't like when somebody's like too likable and stuff like that. So once people get bored of it and he started winning stuff, it's like, nah, we've had enough of this guy now. We need to attack him at everything he says. And yeah, I'll defend him if it's true, man. If he's making dumb excuses, I won't. But it's like, it's a weird thing, because if you're trying to give a reason, not an excuse, but if you're trying to give it for your own team, by the way, you're not dismissing the other team. You know what I mean? It's like if you say Ali flipping every time he dived, he missed the ball or something, and he's like, yeah, you know, Ali weren't too good today because his concentration was a bit off and the pitch was wet. I bet you someone's going to clip up, the pitch was wet. And I'm like, well, if the pitch is wet and you're a goalkeeper, obviously it's harder to save the flipping ball, bro. Well, he doesn't mean that he's not saying that it's hard for the Fulham keeper. He's just saying he's talking about our team. But listen, bro, this is why it is what it is, man. The flip-flops, man, just let everyone know that when you write a comment, it's there forever, bro, unless you delete it. So I pay attention to everyone who says stuff. If I see a current name saying that, I just pay attention to it, bro.
It's madness. It's mad.
On a positive, you got your power back, which I'm happy about. Bro.
Yeah,
I worried for you earlier, man. I was like, no Wi-Fi, bro.
It's the train line. So I've got the train, as you know, because you can hear it. It runs behind my house. Yeah. And the bridge, like the train station, is literally at the end of my road, and there's a bridge up just here where the power box is.
Yeah.
And there's always they're having to turn it off a lot to redo the line and stuff like that. But yeah, it's fucking mental. They put a lot. I didn't even know they apparently put a little like leaflet through everyone's door like last week saying the power will go off at so and so time. I didn't even fucking know.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So
I thought it was just like one of them random power cuts.
No, they had to turn up because they were doing because literally just on my street. So it's all it's absolute murder. I was just looking at the stats from the game. So we had 66% possession of Fulham's 33. We actually had more shots on target and actually had more shots, 11 on shots, 4 on target. I think that was majority between the last 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, literally the last 10 minutes,
803 touches and 606 passes. So we're actually the more productive side. But what Fulham had was more energy and more tempo about their game.
Way more energy.
And that energy and tempo. And that's what Klopp always talks about. That's why that's why Klopp never really is a stat man. He looks at energy and tempos in games. And if your energy and tempo is not there, you can have all the possession, all the shots in the world. If you haven't got the energy and tempo that matches the energy and tempo of your opponents, you're not going to win that game. Doesn't matter who you're playing.
Bro, that's why, I was pissed because I was looking at the flipping name of the book and I was like, oh, for flip's sake, man. It flipping says intensity on it, and that was the one thing we wasn't, bro. Like,
no intensity today. Zero intensity.
But to be fair, Fulham Liverpool doesn't it? They don't what we do to people.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll say, man, when you're on the other side of it, it's horrible, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Flipping heck. Now I know how other fans feel when, like, every time you play against the ball, someone runs after them. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah, we do it to them. It's like, geez. I mean, it's a bad game. We got a point. It's not the end of the world. A lot of people think it is. We'll be back. We've got Palace a week on Monday.
Yeah.
Then we got Man United the week after that on the Monday night as well.
Fuck them, the cunts.
And then we got teams like Bournemouth, Southampton, Newcastle. Look, we can easily go on a nice winning streak. And if we go on a nice winning streak and we get players coming back as well in that winning streak, then everything's going to look a bit rosier. Tottenham looked good today, winning 4-1, coming from a goal behind. Great goal by Ward-Prowse, by the way. We got Ward-Prowse.
Oh, great goal, man.
I've always said Ward-Prowse is a good footballer. And
hey, Jay, when we done the preview, and we done the Newcastle game, and I said I would definitely start Fabian Schär over Thingy. Did you see his goal? Oh my god!
I did actually. Yeah, great goal. I mean, someone like a Ward-Prowse, I wouldn't actually mind in our midfield. You know, I wouldn't.
It's weird, because they played against Southampton and against Spurs, and I said to my son, if I was Spurs, I would have brought Ward-Prowse. You know, instead of having Harry Winks and them man there, bro, I would have brought him, bro. It's better than Winks and Skip, bro.
I think Ward-Prowse is decent. I really would go for Ward-Prowse as our Liverpool. I think Ward-Prowse would actually do well in a Liverpool shirt in our midfield. Yeah. He's a lot better. He's a lot better than people give him credit for. He's very good on the ball. He's a good passer. He's not just a set piece player. He just can't, when he plays with Southampton, his passing is neglect. He can't show his passing range off because everyone playing for Southampton is behind him instead of in front of him. So
why is Cavs flipping comment, man? Flip say it, bro.
League over Facebook Market placing all the Jesus Christ. Big up Cav. They did the same thing.
That's true. When they beat us on the COVID season, that's exactly how they played.
There you go, Gary says it here. There's still 111 points to play for. And then another thing as well, we can still go unbeaten this season. So it's not the end of the it's not the end of the world.
I mean, listen, Arsenal had 9 draws on their invincibles.
12 draws, didn't they, Arsenal? 12 draws. So,
look, to be fair, I can't lie, bro. 12 draws in 2022.
I don't know how they won the league on 12 draws. I really don't. But yeah, we're going to end it there, guys. Look, it's not the end of the world. It's a poor result. It's a poor performance. But hopefully we've got it all out of our systems in the first game of the season. Tottenham will lose games this season. Man City will lose games this season. Arsenal will lose games this season. It's not the end of the world, guys. If we've got it all out of our system in one game, we go on nice winning streaks after this, and then all the injured players come back, and while we're in that winning streak as well, everything's going to look a lot rosier. So just think like that, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be doing the watch along for Man City West Ham tomorrow because I think that's going to be a great game of football to watch. And look, if City lose that, or if City don't win that game, because that's not a guaranteed 3 points for City. No, so, especially away to West Ham. So it's going to be a good game. So I'll be back for that tomorrow, guys. And then on Monday, I'll be back with my Premier League roundup show. So a lot to look forward to on the channel, guys. Till tomorrow. Sleep well. Peace out.